podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Network on Saturday, November 27th, 2021. This is episode 1847. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/techguy. And by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment. Right now, for a limited time, save 60% on your first 3 months of Audible. That's only $5.95 a month. Give yourself the gift of listening. For more, go to audible.com/techguy or text TechGuy to 500-500. And by UserWay.org. UserWay ensures your website is accessible, ADA compliant, and helps your business avoid accessibility-related lawsuits. The perfect way to showcase your brand's commitment to millions of people with disabilities. It's not only the right thing to do, it's also the law. Go to userway.org/twit for 30% off UserWay's AI-powered accessibility solution. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, all the rigmarole surrounding the world of technology, anything with a chip in it. And this is a show, it's a safe space, I just want to say. It's a safe space for you if you say, and almost everybody who calls says, I'm not really into this stuff. I just have to use it, so I don't really get it. But what do you think? That's okay. Micah Sargent is here. He is, my accomplice, I think. My partner in crime, my partner in tech crime. An expert in all things tech, but especially in iOS and Mac OS. Although we made him buy a Windows machine so that he can talk about that. And Android, too. So you're getting there.
I am all over the place.
Have you seen, do you watch a lot of TV, Micah?
I don't watch a whole lot of TV.
You don't look like that kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
You look like a YouTube kind of guy. I've been watching the football games because, it's Thanksgiving. We had to watch 3 games in a row. Oh, my gosh. And lots of ads for Meta, the new Facebook.
Really?
And there's 2 categories of ads. And I'm really wondering who these are for. The first category is, I think, to influence politics. They bring on various people in the Facebook family who do things like content moderation, and they show pictures of their family, and then they say, and what do you think? And then they spout the Mark Zuckerberg line: "We need more government regulation. This is a hard job." And people might go, "Oh yeah, I thought Facebook was against government. I thought they didn't like the idea of getting regulated." Well, they don't. But what they want is the kind of regulations that they can reasonably, without a huge cost, adhere to, but no one starting out in the business could possibly adhere to. There's a term for it. I don't really know what it means. I don't know why this is the term: regulatory capture. But the idea is we're gonna get Congress to do something, or government to regulate in a way that is good for us but bad for anybody else. Investopedia says regulatory capture is the economic theory that regulatory agencies may come to be dominated by the interests they regulate and not by the public interest. And really, what Facebook is trying to do with these ads is to convince you that it's a good thing for Congress to pass some laws about content moderation and stuff, laws that a big company like Facebook could afford to do. But if you're starting up the next Facebook, see, the thing that terrifies Facebook is not government, because they know government kind of needs them for advertising and get campaign commercials and stuff. Plus, they give a lot of money to government, so that's not really what scares them, or regulation. What really scares them is competition. That's why they bought Instagram in its crib, in effect. That's why they bought WhatsApp in its crib, because those were threats to Facebook's dominance. So what really scares them is that some young upstart, some Micah Sargent's going to start another social network that's better than Facebook, and everybody's going to go, especially the young people, because Facebook does not do well with young people. The young people are going to go, oh, that's so good. Let's use that. Forget Facebook. That's where mom and dad and grandpa hang out. And so TikTok, for instance, Snapchat, all these things scare Facebook. So that's what those ads are about. In case you're wondering, they have a very sly and subtle message. Yeah, regulate us, please, in such a way, not antitrust. No, you don't need to do that. Just to regulate us in content moderation, things like that, such a way that Micah Sargent's book can't succeed. Then there's these other ads that are really weird. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like cartoony jungle tiger prowling in the jungle, and you're walking in the jungle. And I really don't understand this. It's Facebook advertising the metaverse. This idea that you're going to wear, I don't know, an Oculus, or you're going to jack in the back of your head to a giant cable or something that's going to put you in this imaginary world that's better than the real world that you're just going to want to live in. Of course, it's owned by Facebook. And it seems a little premature, I'm just saying. These meta ads, like, this is not around the corner. I guess it'd be like seeing an ad for Tesla saying someday your car will look like a living room and you can just ride inside. I have a friend who says, I'm waiting until cars have, you can have a car that's basically you're a bedroom. Alex Lindsay, our friend Alex Lindsay, says it's a bedroom. It's got a bed in it and, a sink and a bathroom, and it's like a little small house. And when you want to go to Los Angeles, it's about a 4 or 5 hours drive, maybe 6 hour drive to Los Angeles, depending on traffic. You want to go to Los Angeles, you just press a button, the house pulls up, you get in, bring some books, some TV, something to watch, a DVD. No, you probably don't have DVDs by then. And then you just go to sleep and you wake up in Los Angeles.
That would be lovely.
Like a choo-choo train
Being
used
able
to be.
Sleep or work.
Don't have to think about it.
I mean, some people do all of those things anyway. Sleep and drive, work and drive.
Yeah, but we had a thing called the train.
Never heard of it.
It used to be like that. You'd get in, the Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Kokomo, and you'd go and you'd have nice dinner with white tablecloths and the silverware, and you'd have dinner, and you'd flirt with the stranger across the way, especially if you're Cary Grant and Deborah Carr, and you'd flirt with them, and then you'd
write a book.
Then you go in your sleeper, and you go to sleep, and you wake up in your Los Angeles, or New York. That was a good system. I don't know.
I just read a Twitter thread about somebody doing that.
Sure,
I mean,
it's
not
awesome.
The whole book and the love, but yeah, it sounded fantastic.
Awesome. It was. I did it when I was a kid, and we just kind of let it go because we like the highways. But you don't need full self-driving. There's these things called rails, and you're on them, and no one else is on them, and you just go down them, and then you get there. I don't know. It seems to me like we've already done that.
Why we sort of skipped over that. Was it this sort of American ideal?
Well, it depends on how
taking my destination in my own hands.
Yeah, we love to drive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. It really is a big thing in America. Is that independence you get when you get your first, your driver's license, and your first car, and see ya, mom, see ya, dad, I'm out of here, and then the whole idea of the road, the open road. I also think it's partly that. I also think it's the oil companies and the car companies who really didn't really want. And this, by the way, this relates back to what Facebook was doing with regulatory capture. Mm-hmm. In the turn of the last century, they did the same thing with local governments. They said, oh, you don't want to build public transit. No, you want to build roads because Americans want to be free. And so LA is a great case in point. Public transit's terrible.
Yes.
But you sure can drive everywhere if you don't mind the traffic. Anyway, I don't, that's a story for another day, boys and girls. What else is in the news? I got up at 4 a.m. Speaking of TV, when I was a kid, Bobby Fischer, this is 1972, is before your father wasn't even a twinkle in your grandfather's eye. This is so long ago, Micah. This is ancient history. But we had an American grandmaster. The Russians dominated chess. And then we had an American grandmaster, came out of nowhere, 16 years old, was brilliant. And he got better and better and finally started to challenge. He was ready to challenge the Russian dominance in the world of chess in the very famous 1972 Bobby Fischer versus Boris Spassky chess matches. And I was so excited because I was playing chess. I was a teenager. I was so excited because it was on TV. It was on PBS, but it was on TV, and you could watch this live. And I thought, man, someday chess is going to be like baseball and football, and you can watch it on TV. Never happened. But now we have YouTube. So there is, and you probably don't know this because nobody cares, a world championship match going on right now between Magnus Carlsen, the great Norwegian master, and a Russian grandmaster, Jan Nepomniachtchi, who is very good. And this is game 2 was this morning. It is on YouTube. In fact, not only is there one channel, there's channels in Russian, there's channels in English, there's several competing channels even in English. You can watch it live, other grandmasters commentating on it. It was kind of the thing I imagined as a kid, and it's not because chess is more popular. Maybe it's, I don't know, it was pretty popular during Fischer, Spassky, but maybe it's a little more popular. But I think it's also because we have YouTube.
Yes, yes. Is this the FIDE? I don't know.
FIDE, the Fédération Internationale des Échecs.
There are only 1.6 thousand people watching it. I don't understand.
1.6 thousand?
Yeah, 1.6K it says.
Well, it's over.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to say that's heartbreaking.
This is the only drawback. It's going on in Dubai right now, which means it starts at in the afternoon in Dubai at 4 a.m.
Okay.
So I've been getting up. If I'm a little groggy, well, you don't want to watch, it's like watching a football game after it happened. You already know the result. You want to watch the excitement. Now, excitement is a very general term
translate? Here. Do they make noise? Is it like tennis? Is it like
no, there's no noise at all, and it takes them the first 40 moves take 2.5 hours. So it's not unusual there'd be 10 minutes in between moves, and so it's slow, but it's exciting if you're following it and you know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So.
I imagine you were gasping. Like,
I am gasping.
They did the 3-time turnover
G6,
roundup. Can you believe?
I can't believe. So, yeah. So, but I think this is a positive thing. This is one of the things that happened because of the world of the internet. Little narrow niches like chess fanatics are getting not just served but super served. Absolutely. I think that's great. You can watch it in Russian because Nepo's Russian. You can watch it. I'm sure there's Spanish and Italian and French and there's all. It's amazing, all on YouTube. And boy, the excitement is palpable. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. We will get to the phones. Oh, lines are lit right after this. Yeah, very exciting.
Lit lines.
Big excitement in chess world.
Please be quiet while I make this move.
So they're, the conditions are really good. They're in Dubai. They're in a soundproof. They're on a stage, but it's got one-way glass all the way around it and soundproof. There's an audience on the other side, but they can't see them or hear them. And there's cameras. There's always in the past been big battles about cameras and people and spectators and stuff. That was one of the things Bobby Fischer was, actually didn't play for the first couple of rounds because he was so mad about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see it, but that's how you get more people into it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Frankly, this YouTube thing, it blew me away. I don't know what it was like last time. It's every couple of years, but it's really taken off. I'm really happy to see that. I think chess has also taken off a little bit, which is ironic because people thought it would be dead because machines play better than humans now. Mm-hmm. The top human, Magnus Carlsen, is rated 2,800 something. The top machine is, you can buy for free. Actually, it's open source. You download Stockfish. It plays over 3,000. Yeah, it'll beat even the best.
I guess that just, to me, those are two different things. That doesn't take away from humans. It's like building a golf robot. You'd still want to see humans.
Yeah, I guess
play
you're
golf.
Right. You could have a golf robot that played perfect golf, couldn't you? It still doesn't take away from it. We thought when the first machine beat the world champion many years ago, more than a decade ago, we thought, that's it, it's over. Nobody's going to want to play chess because you won't be playing as well as the computer. But you're right.
I could see that as like a Russian/German sentiment of like, oh,
Well, screw it.
I am no
I'm
longer
taking
the
up
best.
golf.
So I guess I cannot play this anymore.
It's interesting. In fact, what's happened over time is we've gotten better at integrating the computers into the human play. There's a big cheating issue, so they really have to do a lot to keep people from going off in the bathroom and checking their phone. But more than that, people have learned how to use it for their prep. So in this, for instance, world champion thing, you prepare your openings and your opening lines. And it used to be you'd do that with other grandmasters. You'd have your team of a few grandmasters helping you. But now you have a team of a few grandmasters and computers, and you might even run different engines on different lines and compare.
They get to work with the computer?
Not during the game.
Okay.
Once the game starts, it's all got to be in your head.
Got it.
Then. You have to memorize.
Even if you take a break, you
can't go consult.
Okay, good.
No. Good. That's another reason why they have this special place, is to keep them, put them in a Faraday cage.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I brought you some of my world famous collard greens.
Oh, good.
So you can try
I can't wait to try them.
They're in the fridge.
Thank you. You are so kind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I make them every Thanksgiving. And
oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I should have brought you some ham.
Lady.
Oh. Well, she's, all of ours. I wouldn't, not just mine. She's that's
woman
good.
Of the world.
Big Pee Wee playing the music today, and Big Pee Wee loves to play the songs for Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
With the family, just intimate, like 6 people. It was great.
Micah has brought me his apparently
Collard
world-famous
greens.
collard greens, so I'll share one bite. Only one. I'll share one bite with you. Good. Well, welcome.
Yes.
Good to see you. Who should I start this?
Well, Kelvin, our DeafBlind Potter, wants to
nice.
update you on the streaming issue he was having.
Excellent.
In the past, line 1.
Thank you, Kim Schaffer. And hello, Kelvin. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey there, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's the pottery?
It's going good. It's going good. Sales are coming. Black Friday deals are up, and we started small business sale today, and then we started Giving Tuesday for the lighted blind cane that I started manufacturing. In January. So,
Give us a plug for your site. Is it an Etsy site, or where do you sell your pottery?
So it's deafblindpotter.com.
DeafBlindPotter.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I am in the market for some pottery.
I just uploaded 28 new DeafBlind Potter mugs yesterday.
Oh, these are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, these are beautiful.
So.
Oh, I love these mugs. Yeah. So last time we talked, you wanted to stream.
Yep.
How's that going?
It's going. So I tell you, I got the most complicated system for a blind guy, but hey, I got it working. So what I did was I took the 2 Google Pixels that I had, and the heating issue that I was having is I got those liquid cooling fans for your computer.
Yeah.
They make them for the phone.
Sure.
And so I put those on there, and it does the trick.
It's interesting. After we talked, Google announced a stand for their new Pixel 6 phone, and the stand has a fan in it. So I thought
I like that.
I thought I should tell Kelvin about this. Yeah. So you figured that out. That's good.
Yeah. So I got that, and then I got myself a Canon M50, and then that way I can then stream live to Twitch and YouTube, and then have my assistant in my computer.
That's fantastic.
So they can be in my Pixel phone and my computer at the same time.
The M50 is Canon's, they call it a vlogging or video blogging phone. It's really designed to do exactly what you're doing. In fact, we saw it at, Aunt Pruitt and I were at the last CES in 2020, and we saw it. I fell in love with it. I thought, this is a great camera. So that was a good choice. Yeah.
So, I mean, it took a while. I mean, I had it for 2 months, and because it's not accessible, I had to have somebody be able to move the buttons and say, how do you get the auto and all that stuff working.
But once you get it set up, you can just leave it right on a tripod and let it shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And where are you streaming to?
So I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitch.
Nice.
And then I'll have a second device streaming to TikTok. So that's where my biggest following is on TikTok.
So, but you don't, do you stream all the time, or you make little TikToks?
So I do streaming once every, starting in the new year, when I go every Wednesday, I'll be streaming live. But right now I do every first and third week of the month. I do your pain of the day of Monday, and then your joy of Wednesday.
Pain of Monday and the joy of Wednesday. Exactly. I love this. Yep. YouTube.com/DeafBlind Potter. But I think and what's the TikTok handle? DeafBlind Potter?
Yeah, DeafBlind Potter. Everything's DeafBlind Potter.
See, that's smart.
It's our whole name.
Yeah, no, that's really smart, because then people, once they get it, it's the same everywhere.
Yep.
So where do you get the most engagement? Where are people most, doing what you want them to do?
So surprisingly, I'm getting a lot of engagement on Instagram, even though I don't have as many followers on there. But Instagram is really active, and but TikTok is, now that I went from just being a creator to a business account, they kind of just dropped me kind of. So isn't
that funny? But you almost have 300,000 followers on there, which is pretty darn good. Do you have somebody helping you, a sighted person helping you with this, or?
So I finally hired myself an assistant. She's in South Dakota. And
wow.
So, but she's off in the next week and a half. So I might even go live by myself for Giving Tuesday, because for Giving Tuesday, I'm doing my fundraiser to raise $200,000 to manufacture the lighted blind cane, because it's estimated
that's awesome.
It's estimated that 87 million blind individuals, or we should say visually impaired individuals, get hit by a car in their lifetime.
Oh, you have these canes. You have these canes I see on the website that help with that, right?
Yeah. So it lights up, and you can see it from a distance, and so forth. So,
hey, Kelvin, am I impressed by you. DeafBlindPotter.com is a place to go find out about all of this stuff. Have a great Giving Tuesday. Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing.
So, thank you.
Good for you. Wow, are you doing it?
Yeah.
And I love these.
I'm ordering a mug.
I'm going to get some mugs. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sounds good. But better get them quickly, because
I already see several of them sold out.
They're beautiful. You do a great job. You do a great job. And how are you hearing us? Through hearing aids, or?
Yeah. So I have you in my hearing aids, and then I have you on my iPhone. That's why my audio is not that great, because I don't have an actual microphone plugged into that.
You sound fine. You sound as good as a lot of other people. So no, that's fine.
Yeah.
And the Perseverance podcast, that's cool too. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, just launched that last month.
Nice.
So it's my story this month, and then next month is a lady that was in the Army. She was kidnapped as a child, then came to her father, then was raped a couple of times.
Oh, my
when she became an adult. Then went into the Army, and then has chronic pain because she was exposed to radiation. But I tell you, this woman is persevering like no other.
That's a good name for the podcast. I love it. The Perseverance. Exactly. So it's people who persevere, people who do not give up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
That's the whole purpose of that. And then I make a piece on that person's story. So then the YouTube shows me grow that person's story into something beautiful as they persevere through their story. So
and
that's how that works.
I love these See-Me cane bowls and tumblers and the little heart bowls, all in the colors of the See-Me cane. I think that's really cool. What a great thing you're doing.
So thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been hit 3 times by a car. So,
God.
And I have many friends that have been, and I've just been trying to. I mean, once I saw this problem, I was like, well, why can't I do this?
And you think the cane makes a big difference? I guess in the dark it's a problem, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see it from 50 yards away.
This is very bright.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. and a vibration motor in it, so that way you can feel if the battery's on, and it also lets you know if the light's on. It does a double vibration to let you know the light's on. It only vibrates once if the power, but the light's not on. So there's multiple communication systems in it that I built from scratch. And so, I mean, I have my own 3D printer and all that stuff, and I manufacture all of it.
Oh, you make this? Wait a minute, you're making this cane? This is. Wow.
Yeah.
Calvin, you got a lot of energy. Holy cow.
Yeah.
This is your product, this See Me cane.
Yeah, I just got awarded my on Tuesday. I'll be awarding my official patent.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations on Giving Tuesday.
So,
wow.
Yep. So it's going to be a big announcement. I'll be live for 10 hours, and I'm going to make 50 tumblers in 10 hours. And so we'll be doing, like, I'll have people come in and say hi, and it's going to be a fun day of just being live on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube. And
this is another great example of something that new media has just so empowered you and given you an audience and a reach. That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. That's just great. Yeah. Calvin, I got to run, but it's a pleasure to hear from you. Stay in touch.
You too.
Thank you for what you're doing. It's amazing. What an inspiration. And good luck with the Perseverance podcast. I'll be listening.
Awesome. Sounds great. You guys have a good one.
You too, Calvin.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about this. Is a sponsor for the podcast, and I really think they're great. And I want to tell people about them, and I want to do it without any stigma. BetterHelp. Well, in our lives, all of us, from time to time, need a little help. Maybe there's something blocking you from achieving your goals. You know you could do better. Getting a better job, losing weight, sleeping better, things like that. Maybe something you feel like, I should be happier. Something's interfering with your happiness. This is something that in the pandemic has, I think, transformed the idea of mental health. BetterHelp.com/techguy. BetterHelp.com/techguy. BetterHelp, you go on. I know people, I have to say this delicately. I know many people have used it. Let's put it that way. The assessment, they go in, they assess your needs, and then they'll match you with a licensed professional psychotherapist. You can connect online. It's safe. It's private. It's convenient. You'll be ready to, fill out the forms. They'll connect you within 48 hours. This is not self-help. This is not a crisis line. I want to be very clear about this. This is the equivalent of having a psychotherapist you go to for regular meetings. But BetterHelp has done it, I think, absolutely perfectly. It's secure online. It's absolutely private. You can do it, find somewhere where you can talk freely and privately. The therapists are very good. They're very available, which is nice. They don't just say, time's up, bye. They're really there for you. In fact, you can send a message to your counselor anytime. You'll get timely, thoughtful responses. Of course, you can schedule as one would weekly video or phone sessions. Yeah, by the way, a lot of people prefer just the audio, like they feel freer to talk. Maybe you want the video. You never have to sit in a waiting room. You never have to, it's much nicer. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. They make it easy and free to change counselors. By the way, I want to say there's no stigma. The counselors won't be mad at you. No one will be mad at you. This is normal. You've got to find somebody who matches your way of thinking, is as smart as you are, and so you can really do that. And another real advantage of BetterHelp, it's much more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and they even have financial aid. Available worldwide, 24/7. And it gives you a much broader range of therapists, so you can find the expertise you want online, not just the counselors that are near you. Professional, licensed counselors with a broad variety of specialties to fit your needs: depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LBGT matters, grief. Please, if you are grieving right now, this is something you should absolutely seek out. No one should go through this alone. Self-esteem. Many of us have self-esteem issues. Anything you share, of course, confidential. It's very convenient. It's very professional. These are licensed therapists. It's very affordable. There are testimonials posted daily on the site. In fact, they're actually looking for new counselors because this has, in COVID, become the thing. They've in all 50 states. I want you to start living a happier life. As a listener, 10% off your first month. Go to betterhelp.com/techguy. 1 million people now have taken charge of their mental health through BetterHelp. BetterHelp, I think is a great thing. BetterHelp.com/techguy. No stigma. I believe in this. I've done it. Everybody should do it. BetterHelp.com/techguy. Just be a better you and a better life. Wop, 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 wop. He's hip, man. He is the hippest tuba player I know, Scott Wilkinson. You know, I'll be honest, Scott, our home theater geek. I'll be honest, Scott, tuba's hip. They don't seem to go together.
Oh, yeah. No. They definitely go together. Tubas are hip.
Hip. We
what is hip? Tubas are hip.
When we were in Mexico and Oaxaca for the Day of the Dead.
Man. You must have heard some great tuba players.
Yeah, how did you know?
Because tuba's really important in banda music.
Well, maybe that's what we were listening to. So we went on the Day of the Dead, which is November 1st. We went to mezcal. It was a ancestral, traditional mezcal factory, Mezcal de Los Angeles, and the band came. A local band made up of local kids came. And played for us as we danced and we had fireworks and all sorts of. But the leader of the band, the adult who was leading the band, was a tuba player. So he's standing there on the side in his tuba, directing. It was great. It was great. I'll send you a video. It was amazing.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Traditionally, the tuba is the bass instrument.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was the only bass. There were a lot of clarinets and trumpets and other wind instruments, but the tuba, was the bass. Anyway, we don't come here to talk about that. We come here to talk about home theater.
Indeed.
You took Black Friday off. We missed you, but we did have your deals on the website. Those are still there.
Good.
Do they continue till through tomorrow too? In many cases,
through tomorrow, exactly. And in fact, there are a few others that I wanted to quickly mention.
Good.
I found a few on Amazon, in particular streamers. Streaming devices. Amazon has its own Fire TV in various forms and configurations.
Yeah.
There's the HD Fire Stick, which is only HD, a high definition. It's $20, 50% off this weekend from $40. So, these streamers are generally inexpensive anyway, but hey, if you're going to save some money, might as well. The 4K Fire Stick TV is $25, down from $50, so another 50% off. And if you want to get the 4K Fire TV Cube, their little cubic thing that sits on next to the TV, and it has Alexa in it. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, it's all right. People are used to it by now.
I probably activated 10 million things. Anyway, that's $80 down from $120. That's a third off, so that's not too bad. And the Roku 4K streaming stick is $29 down from $50, so that's 42% off. So that's pretty good. Again, these things aren't very expensive to begin with, but if you can save some money.
I'm a Roku.
Really.
I kind of prefer Roku over Fire.
Yeah, I do too.
The problem with the Amazon Fire Stick is it's really all about advertising Amazon content.
Yes.
But Roku seems to have the most channels. The quality is very good. I have a Roku Ultra. I really like it a lot.
Yep, me too. Exactly right.
The only bad thing about the Roku is lately they've been getting into fights with the channels, particularly Google and YouTube. And so I think sometimes the viewers are the ones who lose out on these battles. Yeah.
Exactly right. But they get resolved eventually, and the channel comes back. I mean, that's the way it's been historically. Anyway.
Roku has so much clout now, but they are the dominant streaming device.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard for Google to say, well, we don't want to be on you anyway. We don't care. Now, I want to mention Tasker109 in our chat room said, thank you for your recommendation of the LG OLED, the CX1. He bought it. He loves it.
Oh, excellent.
Was that on sale?
Yeah. The C1.
Yeah.
It was on sale, and probably still is. There's one on Amazon. Let's see. It looks like
OLED,
the
if you can
C1
afford it, is just the
is the
nicest
way to go.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only reason I would recommend an LED or LCD TV over an OLED is if you need super brightness. If you watch a lot of TV in a bright room with the lights on or during the day with the windows open, even then, an OLED is going to be fine for the most part.
Yeah.
And the OLED just looks so much better. It's got a wider viewing angle. It's got better blacks. It doesn't have any of the problems that LCDs have to overcome in one way or another with trickery.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely.
What
And
else
the
do you recommend for Cyber Monday, which is tomorrow? Or day after
Cyber
tomorrow?
Monday. Well, believe it or not, I found some deals. You're going to laugh at this. On 4K Blu-ray players.
Well,
Now,
no, that's okay.
Disc. You're a strong proponent of the discs are on their way out, and I'm starting to come around to that. Although I will say that discs still represent the best possible quality. So if you're a geek like me, and you want the best possible quality of experience from your audio video system, then the discs are still it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I just don't want to have I guess you could have a shelf full of these.
you can
and
still
all
have
that.
a shelf. Yeah,
Yeah.
you still can have a shelf.
Yeah.
So Amazon's got a few good deals. Sony's got the UBP X700M and X800M, and they're both about 40%, 35 and 40% off. What's the difference between them? Not much, except that the X800 has Bluetooth. So you could hook up a pair of Bluetooth headphones.
How does that work? Isn't there a latency in Bluetooth? I mean, like, would the lip sync be a little off? Or
That's a very good question. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
And I would be shocked and very disappointed if that Blu-ray player did not have a lip sync.
It has a little dial. Well, it's a thing,
essentially,
yeah,
a
that you could say,
control.
slow
that lets
down
you-
the
yes,
talking to
delay
match
the audio.
or
Delay the
to
audio
match the
by a few
video.
milliseconds or whatever
Yeah.
to match it up.
Right.
If it didn't have that, then this
wouldn't
would
want to
be
do it.
pretty useless. Yeah.
It's amazing how well attuned the human mind is to this, because even
remarkable.
a millisecond off, you can see it, and it's disquieting.
Well, I'd say more like 10 milliseconds.
10? Okay. Milliseconds pretty close.
Anything less than 10 and your brain really can't tell, but more than 10 you can. And 10 milliseconds
Not
isn't
much.
very much.
Yeah. It's a thousandth of a no. Yeah,
It's a hundredth of a second.
100th of a second, yeah.
Yeah, still. That's
Wow.
that ain't much.
Yeah. Anything else people should be I guess we answer this question every time, but it probably should do it again.
Sure.
Is it a bad time or a good time to buy a TV? I know the
It's a good
prices are
time.
right. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. No,
There'll
it's
be
a
new
good time.
models out this spring, but that's
Right.
not till the spring.
That's right.
And we're not
That's
we're not in a situation where there's big advances in TVs happening every year.
No, that's true. Although I will tell you this, I'm not going to CES this year. I don't know if you are.
No.
I'm
Too
not.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, it is too soon. But I do know, and I will tell you when the time comes of a new TV technology that's going to be introduced. At
Not
CES.
micro LED?
No,
Something new.
something new.
Why are you
I'll give you
keeping
that
it?
little
You're keeping a little secret here.
I got to give you a little teaser.
Are you under non-disclosure? I think
I
you
am.
are.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. I'm under non-disclosure, but I can tell you it's something really interesting.
Okay.
Really interesting.
Okay. Good. Okay. Good.
And so, right around CES time, I will be talking about this.
Are you? Last question. Doing something special for Hanukkah tomorrow? Do you have an event, or will you be playing the tuba for anybody?
No, I've got a big tuba concert, online live stream tuba concert coming up December 12th. Sunday.
because we weren't going to do tuba Christmas this year, but you
We're
are going
not.
to do an online.
Well, I'm going to do an online stream. An online live stream with 6 professional players, top players, and I get to play with them. I'm so
wow.
excited about it. I will let you know more about it. I put the link in the chat room, but if we could put it in the
We'll put it in the show
too,
notes,
that'd be
and
great.
we'll have more details as we get closer to the date. And then
bet.
in January at CES, Scott's going to reveal the next big thing in TVs. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Very exciting.
I didn't think there was such a thing out there.
There
I'm
is.
excited. All right. What a tease. Home Theater Geek. He's a contributor at techhive.com. And, of course, his TV guy, our Home Theater Geek. Thank you, Scott.
You bet.
It is all yours.
Woohoo! By the way, well, let's see.
What?
It might be okay. It
What?
might be okay next week. Next week is actually my going back to Santa Cruz. I was there last weekend. I'm going to go again next weekend. That's the memorial.
Oh. Now, did
And
you go see that TV, the 3D TV thing?
No, that's coming up.
That's next week.
That's next week.
So you just took a week off for no good reason last week?
Well, I had some reasons.
Okay, all right.
tell you
I won't pressure you. As disappointed as we are not to have you.
Yeah, well, I'm always disappointed not to be here for sure because I love it. But
no, that's
I did
fine.
have some
so
reasons
next
I
week
needed
is
to go.
off.
Next week is off.
Okay, that's fine.
Again.
That's fine.
But the following week, I will have a report from Lightfield Labs.
Yes.
With their
Mike and I are very interested in how
basically true holographic display, not 3D with glasses, auto stereoscopic, any of that crap, but true holographic 3D display that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And I've got a special they're giving me a tour of the place, and I get to have kind of backstage access, which is really nice.
Oh, neat.
And unfortunately, I can't take any pictures. I'll get some graphics from them.
Well, pictures
but
wouldn't do it
any good
justice.
anyway.
Yeah,
exactly. It wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Pictures but that's next weekend. Well, next Monday. Before I come back, I'm going to stop in to their place in San Jose and have a look. And so the week after that, I will absolutely have an important report for you on that.
Excellent. Can you stay for the top?
Oh, yeah, happy to.
Okay. All yours.
Happy to. Thank you. And so nice to see you all. Scooter X, James Jeruva. Oh, yes. Thank you. James, I will send you the links to, or it's already here in the chat room, so if you're picking it up off the chat room, then that's good. It's going to be on YouTube and on Facebook Live. On my friend John Noriko's channels. He does, believe it or not, he does a weekly podcast about tubas called Conical Supremacy. So named because tubas are a conical instrument. So if you take the tuba and you unwrap it and you make it a big, long, straight tube, it's a cone, basically. And so the podcast is called Conical Supremacy, and John Noriko and Doug Tornquist, who are top-level pro tuba players here in L.A., do the show. And the episode on September 12th will be Christmas music played by 6 players, including yours truly, which I am extremely honored and happy to be doing. I will be playing some of my arrangements, some of my father's arrangements, and some other stuff as well. So it's going to be really, really great. And believe it or not, I'm actually going to sing. I'm going to sing a song called Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas. And so if you don't want to miss that, if nothing else, you don't want to miss me singing Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas. Loquacious, thank you so much. Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And Tech Dino, more history, please. I can give you the history of the tuba, no problem.
All right, we'll talk in a bit. As enticing as that might be. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. I'm joined by Micah Sargent, my accomplice, my what do you call that?
Right-hand man?
Something in crime. I don't know what is it?
Accompli?
Partner in crime.
Oh, partner. Oh, the simpler.
Partner in crime, yes, is here to help you as well. So please, this is a good time to call. Perry's on the line from Glendale, California, our next caller. Hello, Perry.
Hi, good afternoon. And I'll offer Kim and yourself and your team a happy belated Thanksgiving and a happy Thanksgiving for next year as well.
Well, there you go. Now you're way ahead as well as way behind. So perfect.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Long time, second time.
Okay.
And the reason I'm calling is I have a venerable Galaxy S4 that I love. I've had it since November of 15. I don't want to let go of it until Verizon makes me dump it.
Right.
And I don't want to pay $1,000 for another phone,
Right.
honestly. But why I'm calling is I was trying to do some business with my bank. I went to deposit a check, and I got a little thing that said you need to have Android 9 or 10 or above.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, yikes.
That's for security reasons. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I can't complain with that. And so I did my due diligence. I went to Tech Guy Labs. I went to YouTube. I went all over the internet, and I tried to find something that would at least give me a walkthrough, to get this thing loaded. And I got 3 sentences in, and I was way above my pay grade.
So let me just to give you the simple one, and I don't know how far you can go. You may not be able to get far enough. But you can apply any available updates. The 4 is pretty old, and that's what's going on here. By going into the settings on your Samsung phone, let me just look at mine. I think it's probably still in the same spot. Go ahead.
Forgive me, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
I did go there, and it just said all updates are complete.
So you're as far as you can go. Yeah.
I think I've peaked. I'm peaking at the part of my life that tells me that I have to give this phone up, and out of my cold dead hands. I mean, honestly, I don't want to give it up. So
well, this is a problem in general in the smartphone world, is that these phones get superannuated even before they've worn out, or their users are tired of them. But phones wear out. Or go out of date, I guess is probably a better phrase, much faster than they ought to. The S4 is, was that 7 years old, something like that?
Yeah, and I keep all over the internet. People love this phone. It's venerable now, and but it's out of date. It's like a dinosaur, but it's a great phone.
You are still getting, I'm looking at the Verizon webpage, security updates. But I guess you can't get Android updates. So, that's a decision the bank made. We are currently at Android 12. You're not that far behind. I don't know if your phone is particularly insecure. And as I said, Verizon is still patching that phone. So I guess, I hate to say it, there's nothing wrong with it, right? The battery's fine still?
No, in the 5 years, I've gone through 4 batteries.
Ah.
It's a great phone.
That's the thing that wears out, though, on these is the batteries. Is the S4? Can you still take the back off and put in a new battery yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's the problem. This was the last, in my opinion, in many ways, the last great Galaxy 4 phone, because it has a headphone jack and the back just pops off and it's easy to buy a new battery. I used to buy, when I'd buy a Galaxy, I'd buy 2 or 3 batteries, and that was just wonderful. So, excuse me.
In 5 years, 4 batteries.
Yeah.
I love this phone.
And that's the thing that wears out on phones, by the way, is the battery. Usually they last about 2 years. So, I guess, what can I say? If you want to do banking on it, you got to get a new phone.
Yeah. Okay. My next question is, not where do I go, but I don't want to spend $1,000, but
No, you don't have to.
It's comparable and just do the basics.
Well, the first thing is go to Verizon. Go to Verizon. If there's a Verizon store, go in there and see what they've got. The current Samsung is the S21. But that's because they skipped some numbers in the middle there to make it sound like. But you can probably, there's probably still selling the S10. I would bet the S10, and it's probably less than an S21 would cost, and that would be, of course, a big improvement over your S4, and it would be up to date in terms of be running Android 11. So that's the first thing to do. Then if you can't get a Samsung to suit you, and there is the A series Samsungs, which are less expensive. They're not as good as the Galaxy S series, I think. They're the kind of I don't think Samsung wants me to use this phrase, but I will, cheap phones. There are inexpensive, good Android phones. My favorites are from the Motorola line, the Motos. So and a late model, like current 2021 Moto, let's say the G Power, is about $200, and I think is an excellent phone. It probably, in every respect, is as good as the S4 because it's going to have.
I was just going to say, I mean, anything low grade today would be high tech 5 years ago.
Exactly. Another good choice is the Pixel line. This is the Google line. Their support is not great, but if you get it from Verizon, they should support it. And the Pixel, I'm going to think the Pixel 4a, if they're still selling it, the 5a, if not, those are going to be under $500, and they should be pretty nice. My favorite though is the Moto. I would look at if you can't get an S10, which I'm pretty sure you can still. Are you looking at the Verizon store? Do they offer the S10?
So I'm not seeing it on Verizon's website. I do see it from some other places, including Target, Walmart, etc.
And you could get it and get a Verizon SIM for it. Costco probably has it. Yeah,
Costco,
yeah.
Okay.
So I think there are plenty of good choices out there in your price range. And as you know, I mean, you can get Verizon will give you an A42 for nothing, but that's about what it's worth. So
got it. Okay.
I wouldn't get the A series.
My phone has just turned into a high-class coaster.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating because it's just because they don't provide the software updates. One of the things Google promised to do with the new Pixels, the Pixel 6, is 5 years of updates, and I think that's really a big deal. But I would look at Samsung or Verizon sells the G Power for $250. They might give you a deal because you're going to stay as a customer, right? So I would go in the Verizon store, see what they could do for you, and that'll also give you a chance to play with it, to actually touch it and see.
Got it. Okay. And all right. And one last thing for the cord cutters out there. Last weekend, I just bought a Mohu Arc Pro. After I dumped my cable box.
Mohu? I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah.
Mohu?
Mo
what?
And
it's an antenna.
Pro and yes. Forgive me.
And they're very good. Yeah.
Oh, it's
and that's one you're using that one inside. You don't have to even put that outside.
No, it's sitting on my CD rack.
Yeah,
and it's perfect next to my AM antenna. And all I have to do is just it took me all of 2 minutes to set it up, and then 3 minutes to program it in my TV, and I'm good to go.
Looks like a sheet of paper. They say it goes about 60 miles, so it's important. You're obviously close enough to town. You can see Mount Wilson, so that's going to work fine for you. It's always, as you get farther and farther from the TV towers, you're going to get maybe a better and better antenna. Eventually, you have to go to an outdoor antenna. But, yeah, you're close enough. The Mohu's a great choice. MOGOMOHU.com. Go Mohu!
Yeah, that's right. And I'm in Glendale, California, not the one in Arizona.
Yes, I've heard. Okay.
We're good.
You're close. All right.
Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Great to talk to you. Enjoy your new phone. I hope you get something. In fact, call and let me know which one you get. When people do things like that, Scott Wilkinson, really annoying, disharmonious sounds, as a musician, does it rub you the wrong way?
Well, not me.
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Oh, God.
Please.
No, I'm just teasing. That's a joke from Dumb and Dumber.
No, I never saw that movie.
No, you shouldn't.
I don't like movie about stupid people.
I agree.
Glorifying
I agree.
Stupidity.
Okay.
I find that so offensive.
Because there's enough stupid people to begin with. We don't want to glorify them. Let's not make more.
Let's not make more. I hate these shows like Jackass or whatever.
Yeah.
Just get me away, please.
I am going to go get a cup of coffee. You are my.
Go get a cup of.
You are my coffee break. I realize that now. I always get a cup of coffee when Scott's on. So take it away, Scotty.
Thank you, Scott.
All right. Micah, good to see you. I didn't say hi before. Swamp Rat. Yes, I would not like morons from outer space. That's damn sure. Dr. Mom, Grandma, I spend my days dealing with stupid people now. Yeah, exactly right. Yes, indeed, Phoenix Warp 1. Exactly right. Need shows that promote teachers, scientists, and musicians. Yes, exactly. Exactly right. So, hello, everybody. So nice to see you all. I've been talking in the chat room about, who was it? Beatmaster asked about LG C1 OLED versus Sony A90J OLED. And in terms of quality, I mean, they're both excellent TVs. The LG is generally going to be less expensive. In fact, I saw, here we go, the 55 on Amazon for Black Friday, the 55C1 LG is $1,300, whereas the 55A80J, which is the step down from the A90 55-inch from Sony, is $1,400. So they're about the same price. Now, the A90J gets you more brightness, and with OLED, that could be an important thing. I didn't see the A90 on a particularly good sale for Best Buy when I was looking. So you'd pay more for it. And if you need the brightness and you have the money, then sure, I'd say go for it. But the C1 is perfectly fine. Absolutely great. I have no trouble recommending that whatsoever. Let's see here. Winthrop, Winthrop was asking what's the best current deal on a 75. He really wants a 75. And that's fine. That's good. The 75s that I have in my list are both Samsungs. There is the 75Q8DA, which is, I believe, well, no, I think it isn't. I think it's this year's model. $1,700, down from $2,700. 37% savings. And the Samsung 75QN84A, which is last year's model. I'm almost certain of that. And that's $1,900, down from $2,800. So it's not 32% savings as opposed to 37%. The Samsung 75Q8 is at BJ's, and the 75QN84A is at Best Buy. So those were the best deals I found on 75-inchers, and 75 is quite good. Oh, but now that I'm thinking about it, there was something here. Hang on one second. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about this on today's show, but you know what? Everything always gets in the way. Here we go. 8K deals, 8K Black Friday deals. Here's B&H has the Samsung QN900A 85-inch for $5,500, down from $9,000. But Matt Gallagher's piece on T3 here. This is exactly what you're asking about, Winthrop. T3.com. I hadn't really known about this website before now, but I got linked to it, and this guy Matt Gallagher is shopping for a 75-inch 8K TV. And he says here, Samsung QN900A is a 75-inch 8K TV. You can get it for $4,500, down from $7,000. You can also get the QN800A, which is a little bit less. The 65-inch is $2,500, down $1,000. let's see. Oh, wait. Hey, look at this. But I'm not sure. It's not a 75-inch, I'm sure. The Samsung QN90A is a 4K TV, not 8K. QN90A starts at $1,200, but I'm sure that is not a 75-incher. Let me just take a quick look at here. That's a 50-inch. The 75-inch is $2,600, down from $3,500. So that's pretty expensive, much more than you want to spend. You were looking for a 75-inch in the $1,000 range. I don't know of any. The best deals look to me to be BJ's 75Q8 from Samsung, $1,700, and the QN 75QN84, last year's model, for $1,900 at Best Buy. So there you go. Jamie's is asking about phono cartridges. I must admit I don't know much about phono cartridges because I'm not a phono kind of guy. I have never liked LPs, and I know I'm being sacrilegious to all you audiophiles out there, and I'm sorry. Don't send me hate mail or death threats. They're just too much trouble for me, LPs. Yes, they've got a certain sound, a certain quality, but you really need a high-end system in order to appreciate that. And it takes a lot of work to keep them clean and avoid the pops and the scratches and stuff. And turntables and cartridges are really expensive, good ones. So I just decided I wasn't going to go down that road. I'm perfectly happy with digital music. High res is great if you have the system and the environment to enjoy it.
I meant to ask you, did you see the Beatles thing on Disney Plus yet?
Not yet. I'm probably going to watch. We're going to watch it this weekend.
So maybe next week, because Peter Jackson, I'm curious what he took the 16 millimeter and they 4K'd it.
Yeah,
and it looks amazing.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I watched the first one. They're not all out at once, but it's 2.5 hours for the first one. So
okay, all
it's
right.
long.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of not eventful. You're just watching these guys doodle around. But if you're a Beatles
that's
fan,
fine with me. I'll be down with that.
Watching Paul McCartney write a song in front of you is pretty incredible.
Pretty amazing.
Thank you,
so
Scotty.
I will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, and all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number if you want to talk high tech. I'd love to talk high tech with you. 888-827-5536. Mike is here too.
Hello.
The boy wonder. He's ready to answer your questions, especially. I don't want to put you in a corner here and say iOS and all that, but you do host the iOS Today show with Rosemary Orchard on our podcast network at twit.tv. You also, I see, have a Macintosh in front of you.
I do have a Mac in front of me, but occasionally I'll have my Surface Laptop 3 in front of me.
Oh yeah, it's got blue Alcantara.
It's so soft
on the keyboard. We call it the blue suede laptop.
Yeah, it's definitely Elvis. My Windows PC. So.
Elvis.
How are you doing?
Elvis, the laptop. Do you name your computer devices?
All of my Apple devices, there's this great site, it's called Orange Pippin, and it has all of the Apple varietals that exist.
Oh.
And so anytime I get a new device, I go
It's
down
got an Apple name.
Alphabetically, yeah. So like Ashmead is an Apple type. That's the name. That's the one thing where it exists outside of my sort of Apple naming. That's my Wi-Fi. But then everything else goes down the list. There's Breitbart. No, not Breitbart. No. BrightMac is the Apple. Cranston, I think. And I just go down the list.
There are so many kinds of Apples.
Yep.
Look at this. Jazz, Langston, Superb, Sonia.
Sonia.
You could have an Apple named Sonia.
I think I did at one point have an iPad named Langston. Yeah. So that's what I do with my devices.
Wow. Candy Crisp. I think you should name your next Mac Westfield Seek No Further.
Oh, I think I actually did choose Westfield. Sometimes I'll take the longer name.
Yeah, because Seek No Further, that's a
shorter.
lot to type in.
I'll share it in the chat.
Lot to put in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Orangepippin.com. Back to the phones we go. On the line, Jody from Los Angeles. Hello, Jody.
Hey, Leo, it's good to hear your voice again. Well, I hear your voice all the time, so maybe...
Well, Jody, it's nice to hear your voice again. How about that?
We'll go with that.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back. At my age, it's good to be anywhere. I can say about it because I think you and I are within about 2 weeks of each other in age, just based on things I've heard.
I have a big birthday coming up on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go.
One of those birthdays you just don't want to think about.
No, and let me just say, Medicare ain't all it's cracked up.
I can't wait to find out. So, what can I?
And I'll be happy to share what.
All the good and the bad and the ugly, huh?
Exactly. Hey, two questions for you. I'm going to try to be brief because I probably am not the only caller today, although I'm not sure. Number one, and this is a crazy one. I have a Samsung S9, and my wife has an S10, and they're both doing the same thing. When we do speech to text, it doubles everything we say.
It doubles everything you say?
So if I'm on my message app, hey, Leo, how are you today, period. It'll say, hey, Leo, how are you today, period. Hey, Leo, how are you today?
Oh, that's weird.
Okay. It does it almost every single time.
Thank God Mike is here because I don't know what the hell's going on.
I was wondering, because there are two ways that could have been. It could have been saying, hey, Leo, how, R.
Oh, yeah, but it's by state. So wait till you complete the statement, and then it says it's wait a minute, now describe this. Are you saying it out loud and then it's responding to you?
No, this is speech to text. So like I'm texting someone, but
Dictation.
I don't want to.
It types it twice.
But I'm not typing it. I'm speaking it.
You say it and it types it twice.
Yeah. And It does it every time. It doesn't seem to matter if I hold it close, if I hold it far away, quiet.
And is this on a iPhone or a laptop or a desktop?
No, this is on a Samsung S9.
Oh, that's right. You said that. What am I? So this is not Apple Siri. This is Samsung. I wonder if both Bixby and Google are fighting over you.
I've got something.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't use Bixby at all. I'm probably the only person.
I know, but it's in there. Whether you use it or not, you can't get it out of there. So go ahead. Micah may have solved this.
Someone else seemed to have a similar issue. They said, after hours of messing around, I solved the problem for mine. In phone settings, under General Management, Keyboard List, and Default, the person had both Google Voice Typing and Samsung Voice Input turned on. When they turned off the Samsung voice input,
they're both answering.
Then it stopped doing that. They said also go to General Management, Text to Speech, and make sure that you change the preferred engine to Google and not Samsung. So basically switch away from Samsung and turn off Samsung.
AKA Bixby.
And I'm sorry, and you said want to go to that one, turn off what?
Well, it depends on what you want to use. Samsung has its own dictation, in other words. And so you're using both Google's and Samsung's. Pick one. Doesn't matter. I think Google's the best, but
sure,
pick one.
Interesting. Okay, and that's crazy because neither of us changed anything. It just started doing that. So probably there was some system update.
It was an update, and Samsung is always foisting this
exactly
Bixby
Samsung.
on you. It really wants you to use Bixby. No one wants it. No one likes it. Poor old Bixby's sitting in the corner saying, "Please, let me do some dictation."
Yeah, this was their brand new Galaxy S20,
it's probably out of the box.
out of the box that was doing this. The person said, they had both of them turned on, and that was the issue. So we'll, of course, include a link in the show notes so that you can get it, which is at techguylabs.com. But that sounds like you were also taking notes. So.
Yes, I was. Thank you for my clicking on my Apple keyboard.
At least you weren't dictating it.
Yeah.
I know what happened now. I'd have to read it all twice. Second question, Micah, thanks for hunting that down. Appreciate it. Second question, and this sounds like a newbie thing, but I just can't figure the heck out. I use Dropbox a lot, and I went into some of your show notes from previous stuff and couldn't quite find this out, and it's just something maybe I never thought about in advance. But I use this all the time. I'm a filmmaker. I've got a lot of files that I'm always sharing with others and what have you. So and this is just something I just don't understand. When I add something to Dropbox, it also creates a similar file elsewhere on my computer, and in this case, the startup disk. So I was realizing my startup disk is getting totally
You're
full.
synchronizing Dropbox
Yeah,
You don't need to. So Dropbox has a thing called Selective Sync where you could say, don't sync everything, just sync this. But if you have a Dropbox, the way it used to work is when you used Dropbox, you'd have a Dropbox folder on your computer that would always mirror the Dropbox in the cloud. And that's what's happening. It's mirroring it, it's syncing it. So when you add something in either place.
Yeah, and we'll include a link in the show notes too for the Dropbox's support page that talks about Selective Sync. Essentially, even if you upload online with the sync turned on, which again it's a default.
That's what sync means, right?
It's going to put it on your desktop as well, and it sounds like it's saving it onto your drive. So even if you're doing it, completely in the browser, not messing with the app.
I feel the same way. I don't want it to do that. And for instance, I sent you a file. And I didn't want it to reappear on my desktop, so I created a folder on Dropbox that was not being synchronized to my desktop. And that's where Selective Sync. They added that a few years ago, and that really was a necessity because of this exact reason.
Interesting, because right now, when I realized how big that folder was, like, why is it even here? I already have this material on another drive. I don't need it again.
That folder is, I'm guessing, your Dropbox folder.
Well, it is, but I have one on my. I took that and I put it onto a RAID, like an 18 terabyte.
It's going to do it wherever Dropbox is running. It's going to do it whatever drive is there.
It does it everywhere. So
yes, congratulations. That's called synchronization, and that's why they had to do Selective Sync for this very reason.
So how can I get rid of these two?
Go in your Dropbox settings. You can delete it. Just manually delete it. Throw it out, and then
delete it off of Dropbox as well.
Yes. So the first thing to do is go in the settings and turn on Selective Sync. I think you probably want to turn off this is actually an interesting question. Yeah, you got to be careful. It will only delete it on that local drive. I would say turn on Selective Sync and be more careful about what you're syncing, and then you can delete the general Dropbox.
I like to
folder.
create in any folder I have. I like to create an archive folder inside of that I then don't let Dropbox sync, and so then I can add things online on the Dropbox website to
clever.
the archive folder.
Yeah.
It doesn't sync to my desktop, but again, we'll include a link to the page to tell you how to use it.
Okay, because I just have these two really big 200 gigabyte files, one on my startup disk and one on a RAID, and I just want those to.
Yeah, that'll fill up your drive pretty fast.
Exactly, but the clips and the files, I need them to still exist on Dropbox, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah, so that's the answer: is be careful.
Any more vague?
Yeah. Well, I think you go into the Dropbox settings first and make sure that you want to disconnect that Dropbox folder so that you can delete it. Dropbox does warn you, I believe. I know iCloud does. When you delete something locally, it says, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to delete this everywhere if you do this."
Yeah, I think once you read about Selective Sync at the Dropbox support page, it'll become a little bit clearer to you how exactly you're supposed to do it. So yes, of course, be careful, but this will show you how you can make sure to get rid of one of those folders and so that those files aren't synced between those places. So,
and this occasions my regular conversation, my regular speech about sync. It's not the same as backup. They're two different ideas. And I think sometimes people think sync is backup. So backup is making a copy of everything you've got and not deleting it if you delete the originals, right? Sync is making sure folders match. So when you delete the original, it's deleted in the sync. That's why it's not the same as a backup. So, and many backup programs will do both. Sometimes people think of Dropbox as a backup. This is exactly why it's not a backup, because if you delete the original, it may, unless you've got the settings carefully configured, delete the Dropbox version of it. So if you want something to back up, make sure you don't, the technical term is synchronized deletes. You don't want anything you do as a delete to then be deleted on the cloud. So I think it's important to just make a distinction between something like Dropbox and something like, say, iDrive, which is a backup program, not a syncing program. There's a difference. And many programs, I think iDrive included, our sponsor iDrive included, you can choose, but the default is not to delete, and that's what you want. Scott Wilkinson still in our chat room, irc.twit.tv, giving people TV advice, which is great. We will go back to the phones, take more of your calls next. OneDrive does the same thing, and I think it's burned a lot of people. Hey, this would be a good time to talk about our sponsor. I know you're a big Audible listener. I am too. We love Audible. Audible.com/TechGuy. I want to get credit.
Audible.com/TechGuy.
Or text Tech Guy to 500-500. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment. Wheel of Time is out on Amazon Prime. 15 volumes. I am at volume 6.
Making your way.
I know you're reading those too. I love fiction, but I also love nonfiction. Audible has some great stuff. The Dawn of Everything, David Graeber, been reading that. Wow, it's one of those you read, just go,
I love those.
My mind is blown. How about giving yourself a gift this holiday season? A gift of an Audible membership, the best spoken word content. And it's right there on your phone anytime you want it. Now's the best time. 60% off your first 3 months. With Audible, you can listen to more of whatever you're into because Audible has it all. An unbeatable selection of audiobooks, as we said. Tons of binge-worthy podcasts, too. Ad-free, plus exclusive originals you can't get anywhere else, and they're all available to download or stream. As an Audible member, you'll get a title a month. That's part of your subscription, like the latest bestseller, the hottest new release, or David Graeber's The Dawn of Everything, yours to keep forever. In fact, I did that at Dune when I saw the movie. I said, I think Dune is in my Audible library. It was. I'd listened to it years ago, pulled it back up. They have a really good dramatization of Dune. That's very good. But you also get access to Audible's streaming library. That's the Plus catalog. And that's just kind of unlimited streaming of a whole bunch of stuff. Podcasts, audiobooks, lots of original content from celebrities, best-selling authors, leading experts. Frankly, Audible is, I think we kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
This is mind-boggling. You have the knowledge of the world, all the best literature at your fingertips to listen to at any time. I listen to Audible all the time in the car. I even listen because I feel guilty playing my video game Valheim. So I listen while I'm playing. So now it's not a waste.
Yeah.
I'm learning something and I'm playing a game. The Audible app is free. Install it on your smartphone or your tablet. In fact, you get a link right now when you text Tech Guy to 500-500. No matter what you're doing this holiday season, you'll always have just the right thing to listen to at your fingertips. Perfect for commuting, at the gym, long road trips. Here's a tip for Audible listeners. If you're a couple, Lisa and I do this. Actually, I got this from Brian Brushwood. He and his wife Bonnie listened to The Martian together. So Lisa and I thought, that'd be great. So when we were in Hawaii a few years ago, we were driving on the road to Hana. We're listening to The Martian together. And I don't know if you have this experience. When you listen to an audiobook, you attach it with what you were doing while you were listening. Do you ever have that experience? So now when I hear The Martian, if I listen to the audiobook again, I can see the road to Hana. I know where we were when that thing happened. It's a really weird, combination of senses. So right now we're listening to James Michener's Hawaii. We started again. I don't know what it is about Hawaii, but we started listening to I guess because it's vacation, right? And you have some time. So we started listening to James Michener's Hawaii. We are up to the 1920s. So I think we're almost done. He wrote it in the 50s, but it's really it's a very long and fun novel. But it's a perfect novel to listen to when you are, relaxing or whatever. And then the two of us have this experience together. And I think it's better to listen to an audiobook than watch a TV show. I think it's kind of like that. You're experiencing it together. Anyway, that's just a little tip. Pick an audiobook that your significant other likes and you like, and you can listen together. And it's really nice. I'm just you can tell, we're big fans of Audible. Audible.com/TechGuy. Save 60%. This limited time offer on your first 3 months of Audible. $5.95 a month when you go to Audible, audible.com/TechGuy or text Tech Guy to 500-500. Audible. Give yourself the gift of listening. We love you, Audible. Now back to the Tech Guy. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy with Micah Sargent, the boy genius, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number if you want to talk high tech. We're here for you. Ed is on the line from the United Kingdom. Hello, Ed.
Hi. It's Ed again. I phoned before about the invalid email address.
Yes. By the way, did you ever solve that?
Well, yeah, I think that is the problem, that when they're typing in the email address, until it's something...
Until it's real.
Something.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what we came up with in the chat room in weeks later came up with was, as you're typing, a lot of websites have some JavaScript on the site that validates the email. And it shouldn't, frankly, it shouldn't start saying it's an invalid address the minute you start typing, because of course it is. The first letter is invalid. The second letter is invalid. So it's looking for an @ sign and a dot sign and a TLD, a domain at the end. And it should wait until you kind of get at least close to the end before it starts popping that up. Or maybe, ideally, and I think most sites do this, until you move to the next field. And then it says, well, wait a minute, you didn't finish this field. But you obviously found some sites that are checking it from character 1. And of course they're invalid. You haven't had time to finish. Let me finish. All right. Moving on. What's your next issue?
Okay. Well, this is actually one that I experienced today, but while I was looking for an answer, I found that it had already been asked on episode 1362.
I don't remember that one. That was years ago.
Yeah. I think it's...
Let's see if Leo can remember the answer he gave on episode 1362, 500 episodes ago.
It was about not being able to open PDFs on Chromebooks.
Ah. Well, that actually is no longer a problem.
He has a solution.
Well,
go ahead. What's your solution?
I had it as a problem today.
Oh.
It seems the issue could be if you've previously used Chrome on a different operating system.
Oh.
You might have set a setting where you tell it not to open PDFs in Chrome and use a different program.
Right.
And that setting is then transferred over.
It's synced.
When you're using it in Chrome.
Oh.
Then it gives an error. It's a similar thing, programmers giving errors that don't actually describe the problem. It says that there's no application that can open this file in the Chromebook.
Yeah, normally Google Chrome, which is the forced browser on Chrome OS, can open PDFs and just says, yeah, I read it. In fact, nowadays, all browsers can. The days are long gone when you had to download Adobe Reader to read a PDF. Those, even on Windows, Edge will do it now. So
in this situation where you've told it before that you don't want Chrome to open it, you need to go to settings, site settings, additional content settings, documents, and then make sure it's set to automatically open them in Chrome.
That's hysterical.
It was set not to open them in Chrome, and therefore the Chromebook didn't know how to open a PDF. But as soon as you set that, it would open them in Chrome again.
As your countryman William Shakespeare once said, "You were hoist with your own petard."
Yeah, it seems so.
Yeah, it's not unusual that we do things that made sense years ago. I remember Steve Gibson made a change to his server many, many years ago, and all of a sudden it cropped up a problem, and he couldn't figure out why he was having a problem. He's the host of our security show, and it turned out it was something he did to himself many, many years ago. So I'm glad you found that answer. Yeah. Was that the answer I gave in episode 1367?
No, you said there's a extension, which also does work, called Cami, but to actually fix the problem...
Yeah, you didn't need to do that. Yeah.
It's just the setting that I think because on Windows I would want to use a different program to open...
That's right. You can use a third... In fact, if you look on Adobe's site, how to open a PDF on a Chromebook, they'll say, oh, it's easy. Just download Adobe Reader. And, of course, that's not what you want to do.
No. It's just making sure in the settings, site settings, additional content settings, PDF documents.
Ed, thank you.
That's automatically open.
Usually people call us with problems. You call us with an answer, a solution.
How nice.
I appreciate that. Where in the UK are you?
Down on the south coast between Portsmouth and Southampton.
I remember this now from talking to you last time. Things are going well? Is it a little chilly?
Very, yeah.
Well, stay warm. The best time of year in England is coming up. Time for figgy pudding, I think. Something like that. Thank you, Ed. It's great to talk to you. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's nice. Thank you for calling with an answer instead of a question. That makes me happy, Ed.
Yeah, it's kind of my day job as well. I set up and support broadband and voice over internet accounts and mobile phone accounts. So
oh, wow.
Kind of carrying on what I do as a job as well.
Do you work for an ISP or a carrier or?
Well, an ISP reseller. We work with one of the long-term ISPs in the country and sort of set up accounts through them. And so the customers called us, and then if we need to, we call the ISP. But a lot of things like we can support ourselves.
It's wonderful to hear from somebody, a professional, does what I do as an amateur, who does it professionally. I appreciate it.
It's good practice.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Ed.
Welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye. So that's the other option is to do it offline. Then it doesn't impede the radio show.
Gotcha.
I hate being rude. I know I could tell because you like Micah. People don't know this. He's like sending emails to people with the answers. It's like, come on, you don't have to do that. No, that's nice. That's really nice. I remember when I used to work with Soledad O'Brien on MSNBC. She would answer all her mail, and I'm thinking,
I don't think I could do that.
who cares?
Yeah, I can't answer all of it.
I can't answer.
I do.
If
try
I
to do my
answered,
best.
if you tried to answer, at least maybe it's because of our business. Everybody has email.
Yeah.
Back in the days of the site, maybe it wasn't such a problem. I doubt she answers all our mail now. Maybe she does. She answers all her tweets.
Yeah.
But if we tried to answer all our mail, we wouldn't do anything else.
We'd never have anything else.
Like
to
that's
do,
our full-time job is answering email.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's an unfortunate side effect of this is you kind of set yourself up as a tech expert and then everybody in the world. And I apologize in advance to anybody who sends us email and says, well, you didn't answer my email. It's because we can't.
Can't get around to all of it, but do our best.
I used to have boilerplate that I would send out that said, I'm sorry. I still have it, but I just, I don't even do that anymore. I used to have a, text expander keystroke that would say, I'm sorry, I can't answer everything.
I think there are fewer people, well, maybe. I'd like to believe there are few people these days who truly expect that you will respond. That, absolutely.
Yeah,
they send
and
it
it's
out and
our
maybe.
listeners because they're older and they come from an era where people responded when you sent a mail.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and it's really painful, people actually send me letters.
See, I think I would take the time to respond to letters, but
Okay,
you probably
here you
get a
go.
lot.
Here you go. What's this? Oh, I got to answer this one. He sent me some pictures he wants autographed. Hey, Johnny Jet.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
I am great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Good. I just came in last night from New York.
Oh, yeah. You got your status and you got to go see your pops.
You went again?
You're good.
You went again? I thought you weren't going to do that. You just went.
I know, but I
had to get
needed
his status
a
back.
Oh, because
exactly.
you need the
It's
miles.
a mileage run.
Keep it.
That's all right. You don't have to tell your dad that.
Well, listen, I surprised him for lunch. It took him 3 minutes to comprehend that it was me. He was like, I don't believe you're here.
Yeah, I've seen the video that you
so
sent where you surprised him in bed. It was so cute. So cute.
Yeah, he's amazing. But,
Oh, I wish I'd opened this earlier. Gosh darn it.
Oh, letters?
Yeah, I should open that. See, I should open my mail more in a timely fashion.
Oh, my gosh.
I really should have opened that sooner. I feel bad now.
Leo's inaugural. Was this the invite?
Yeah, I got invited to the inauguration. I guess it's over now. Get ready for Inauguration Day.
Here's a QR code.
Yeah, here's a QR code. I don't think this is actually an invite to the inaugural.
Must not be.
It's more like watch it on TV with the rest of us, but I haven't seen anything since COVID began. I'm going nowhere, man. And Johnny Jet is here. He is our traveling guy. Travel like a rock star. Using modern technology, johnnyjet.com is his website. There's a newsletter. Several newsletters are free there. Also his podcast, johnnyjet.com/podcast. He's on the YouTube. Hello, Johnny Jet. He's also a traveler.
I am traveling again, although I'm not sure how long that's going to last.
There's a new variant in town.
It is not looking good. Omicron. I think Delta Airlines might be the only one somewhat excited. No one's talking bad about Delta. Because of the Delta variant.
So this one, they didn't call this the Gamma variant. They have another name. This is the South African variant.
Yeah, Omicron.
Omicron. So now people are worried that, we shut down travel, I think, from the U.S. to these African nations.
Well, we didn't shut it down. We restricted. So Americans can still go.
Oh, okay. What's the difference?
It's eight countries, including South Africa. United and Delta are the only U.S. carriers that fly nonstop to South Africa, and they said they're not going to stop their service. It's going to keep going. I'm sure a lot of it's got to do with cargo, but it's kind of like March 2020, where all that breaking news just started happening one after another, and just now. Literally within the last hour, I think it's been the UK just announced, their Secretary of State of Transport just announced that all fully vaccinated arrivals to the UK are now required to self-isolate when they arrive. They have to take a PCR test before day 2, and they have to wait until they get a negative result. And
now, has the WHO has not yet named this a variant of interest, or have they?
I think they have.
They have.
And that's why.
So now it's starting. And it's Omicron, which is
US.
Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa, Lambda, Mu, Nu, Xi, Omicron.
Wow, you're good.
Yeah, wow, I'm impressed.
So it's a Greek letter, but it's just that there were a lot of variants we didn't pay any attention to.
Must have been.
Well, that's way above my pay grade.
So it's Omicron, and it came out. They discovered it in South Africa. Doesn't mean it came from there.
Exactly.
It is a variant of concern. They said that on Friday. Higher reinfection risk. So it's one of those where we might have more breakthrough variants.
Definitely.
And is it in the U.S. yet?
It's got to be here. They said it's not, not officially, but it's here. It's in the UK. And unfortunately, what travelers need to know is that things are going to change at a moment's notice, which they have been doing. I don't know if you saw the video on YouTube of a passenger landing in Amsterdam after the flight from South Africa. And the captains got on and said, listen, we're not allowed in. We don't know what's going on ourselves. Yeah. And it's scary.
61 people who arrived from South Africa and Schiphol in Amsterdam tested positive. 61
2 flights.
People. So that's the problem right there.
It is a problem. And what people need to know is now all passengers from the UK to Switzerland must test negative before the flight and then quarantine on arrival for 10 days. So this is just throwing off everything to do with travel right now, internationally, especially. The U.S. blocked at South Africa. So did, Canada, Europe, the U.K., Japan. So it just it's going down. I mean, every minute there's breaking news right now about this. So it's not looking great. But I think Dr. Ja, who's the dean at Brown University, had the best quote. He said there will be those who spread fear and those who will downplay it. Ignore both.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best
advice. Let's try to be reasoned. Get that vaccine. It's still important. Get the booster. I'm getting mine in a couple of weeks.
I got my booster.
Good.
I got it last week.
Good. And then what is the policy right now from airlines? Can you make a reservation, and then if there's a shutdown, will you get your money back? What's the status for that?
Anytime an airline cancels a flight, you get your money back.
Okay.
I mean,
the problem is they're not necessarily
except Air Canada last year.
They're not necessarily canceling them. You may not be able to get off the plane.
They're not going to cancel them, but they should at least allow you free ticket changes, and you should be able to get your money back for this.
Should you inquire? What should you do? Should you inquire before you make a reservation? Should you get insurance? Insurance probably isn't going to cover it, right?
Well, you always get travel insurance. You have to read the fine print. You know what? I'm not sure if it's going to...
It depends on the insurer, because some of them have been a little squirrely with COVID issues.
No,
right?
but they're all getting wise, and because they realize that's what travelers want right now. So
yeah, that's why you're getting insurance.
You buy the insurance and you buy the COVID insurance added on top.
There's probably they do that with flood insurance too, right? You wanted flood insurance? Well, that'll be another $3,000. So,
exactly.
Gosh, should people just not make plans? I know they're...
No. I mean, listen, if you're going down to South Africa or any of these African nations, just keep in mind things can really change.
South Africa says it's not our fault. It came from the UK. We don't know where it's from.
Well, and the UK is a problem right now. So, listen, just be prepared for everything. When you travel, make sure you have plenty of medications.
Bring water, too, because a New York Times reporter who was on one of those flights to Amsterdam said, we were stuck on the plane. They didn't even give us water. They didn't want to go near us.
Wow.
So, wow is right.
Always pack snacks, water.
Always pack snacks. That's your motto, isn't it, Johnny?
I mean, I do. I have a bag full of them, especially if you're traveling with kids. But that's a great example. I mean, you have to do that. But also, make sure you have plenty of medication, not just for your trip, unless it's extended, because it could be.
Now, we should also mention tomorrow is traditionally the busiest travel day of the year. Is that right?
Number one. And Wednesday broke a record. It was the second busiest day, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and it did break a record for pandemic. I think it was 2.3 million something. So tomorrow should be 2.4, but the all-time record was almost 2.9 And I flew on Thursday because that's the
Thanksgiving's
slowest
traditional
travel day.
best day to travel because everybody's eating turkey. But
my flight was half full, and I got upgraded.
Did you get your turkey though? Is the real question.
You know what we ate the day before.
Smart man.
I have a good wife.
Smart. It's not written in stone. Does not have to be the third Thursday in November.
Exactly.
It could be fourth. It could be the fourth Wednesday. It could be any time. Yeah.
Well, my wife's Canadian. It's the second Monday in October.
Now I understand why you understand all this. You've got a lot to keep track of.
I do.
Should people avoid traveling tomorrow? Avoid the airport parking lots, things like that?
No, listen. It's not the time to panic again. So
get there early because lines will be long.
And wear a good mask,
And wear a good mask, yep.
N95, KN95.
Say it again. I think that was really good advice. Dr. Jah's
From
advice.
Dr. Jah?
Yeah.
There will be those who will spread fear, and those who will downplay it. Ignore both.
Yeah. So the problem is, this has been such an up and down 2 years almost. Everybody, we've heard such conflicting information from everybody, including the experts. It's hard to know what to do.
It is.
It really is.
But the experts that I follow say they don't know.
That's the problem.
No one knows.
We think, there's got to be a definitive answer, and there just isn't, because it's a novel coronavirus. We don't have a lot of data, even after almost 2 years, and so they're doing the best they can. I'm still going to follow. You know what? When Dr. Fauci says it's okay to travel, I'm going to try. I'm waiting for Dr. And
Well,
Dr.
he says
Jah.
it's okay.
I
He
like
says it's
Dr.
okay to
Jah. Yeah,
travel.
I'm listening to him. He says wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. All that stuff still works. It's good for the flu, too. Keep doing that. I'm never going to... You know what? We're going to be the COVID generation. They're going to see us. They're going to see you coming, Micah. In 20 years, 30 years, you'll be wearing a mask. The only guy on the airplane wearing a mask. And they'll go, oh, yeah, he was Generation C. He was,
Absolutely.
he lived through it. He gets to wear the mask. It's not a bad idea. They've been doing it in Asia for years. Johnny Jet, go to johnnyjet.com/newsletter. Sign up for his free newsletters. They're really valuable, especially now, right? Because you're keeping people up to date all the time.
Definitely. I just wrote a post just now,
Yeah.
12 things for travelers to know about this new variant.
Follow him on Twitter. You post it there, too, probably links
Definitely.
to your... And, of course,
the chat room,
Instagram.
too.
And the chat room, irc.twit.tv. Thank you, Johnny Jet.
Thank you.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Omicron. Alpha, beta,
Omicron.
gamma, delta, epsilon. Zeta,
really
eta,
impressive.
theta, eta, theta, zeta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron. It's O.
Xi.
Xi.
Okay.
Never forget Xi.
I was curious how that
Glad
was
we
pronounced.
skipped Xi because nobody would have known how to pronounce that. It's also Xi Jinping's last name. Omicron. Yeah.
There's
I didn't get the
epsilon
plug.
and epsilon.
I took ancient Greek in college, so I memorized the alphabet. And it's the only thing I still remember.
I don't even know if they offer it anymore.
Greek? No, they probably.
Yeah,
I
ancient Greek.
bet they don't. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron. Next, it's P, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, keep, psi, omega. So we're going to run out.
I like psi.
Psi is good. Pretty soon it's going to be double psi,
Yeah.
triple psi. You got COVID psi. That's not good.
Omega sigma.
Oh, yeah, it's the psi variant. I hope they skip those.
Yeah.
Omicron. That means, though, what's interesting about that, it means that there may not have been a variant of what do they call it? Concern.
Right.
Not of interest. that's
You
person
are
of interest.
very into interest.
But that means we had an epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, and xi.
They just weren't.
They just weren't of concern.
Well, Let's hope this one isn't as bad as our friend.
We may never get out of this. This is the new normal. What would that mean to the travel industry? It would.
It will definitely hurt. But people are going to travel. Listen, people want to be with their loved ones, and I wanted to plug that right now. There's great sales going on. I mean, they just announced Hawaiian Airlines from San Diego, $89 each way. LA, I think, is $99. So,
and Hawaii's good. Hawaii's safe right now.
Then why does it still cost so much to go to Missouri?
No one wants to go to Missouri.
Yeah, and I don't understand why it costs so much.
And no competition.
No competition is why. What airline do you have to fly?
I don't like layovers
Is it
because I
Allegiant
don't
or-
like jumping. So
Is there
I think
anybody
it's
with
United,
St. Louis
but it's
as
like
the hub?
United /
St. Louis is American. It used to be TWA, and then American.
TWA. You need to fly TWA.
MCI, Kansas City's airport is what I try to fly into.
Oh, he's trying to fly.
Okay.
SFO to Kansas City. Is there nonstop?
There might be one on like Allegiant.
I think it's United.
Is it okay?
It's probably United code share with Allegiant or something.
No, they don't. They don't code share. I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember who it was now, but anyway, it's always very expensive.
Yeah, because again, it's just no competition. You can look at alternative airports nearby and drive.
Yeah, I could go from the Charlie Brown Airport.
So, Sonoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one? What's the Charlie Brown Airport?
Yeah, that's Sonoma.
Yeah, Santa Rosa. Yeah. Love Santa Rosa.
Me too. It's a great airport.
Can't go hardly anywhere from it, but
April.
if you can, like going to Vegas, it's like awesome. When they used to do that, I don't know if they still do. They keep changing what you can do.
We flew into Washington from there. This was before.
Yeah, Seattle. Yeah, you can do Seattle. Yeah. Hey, Johnny.
Hey,
God bless you.
Have a good one.
I love you, man.
Too.
I hope you had
love you too.
good Thanksgiving and
a great one.
You are the best son. You kids take such good care of your dad. Man, I hope my kids do the same.
He deserves it.
You're just awesome.
Best father.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Johnny.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. Love to Natalie and the kids.
Same.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Remember, what doesn't kill you mutates and tries again.
John says, just remember, whatever doesn't kill you mutates and tries again. No, they don't want to kill you. You got to remember this. The virus does not propagate through dead people. It wants to make you sick enough to spread, but not to kill you. It's a mistake. Sometimes it makes a mistake and it kills you, but that won't spread because you died. Unless you could spread it before
if you
you
ever
died.
play that game, that simulator, you do try not to kill all of the people.
That's right.
You try to keep it going.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Mike and I, was it called Plague?
Plague Inc.
It was a great
game. You make it
because
into a company.
For a while, you couldn't download it because they thought this is too close to home.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game where you try you get to play the role of a pathogen, and you're trying to mutate in such a way that you can infect the whole world. But you're right, you got to be careful.
Yeah, if you do too much of the stuff that hurts people, then it doesn't spread to enough people.
Yeah, you got to keep them alive long enough, not forever,
right?
Just long enough to spread.
Because they are fighting against you with the scientists. They are putting research into it, and if they come out with a vaccine, then that's how you end up losing.
Early in the pandemic, the makers of Plague Inc. were at great pains to say, this is not an actual virus simulator. This is not how it works. It's just a game. But, it gives you an idea. I think it's, it's interesting. It's certainly a good game. Is it still out? Can you still
I think
play
it is, yeah. I might even have it downloaded.
Michael was playing, our 19-year-old was playing, now 19, had his birthday yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Michael.
Now 19. And,
go, pack, go. Is that what you say?
Yeah, did you see the picture?
Yes. And you and your
He made me put
head.
a cheese head on.
Gouda.
Gouda. No, I think it's Swiss. It's got lots of holes. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. I didn't mention this earlier, but I should mention it now. Everything we talk about goes to the website. So Mike has been putting links in. So has James DeRuvo, our scribe. You don't have to write down anything you hear on the show. All of it will make its way to techguylabs.com. And there's no sign up, there's no fee. It's just a reference website. Go to this is episode 1847. Each episode is divided into hours 1, 2, and 3. We're in hour 2 right now. Segments 1, 2, 3, and 4 per hour. We're in segment 4 for hour 2 for episode 1847. How about that? Talk about the Dewey Decimal System. Evan's on the line from West Covina, California. Our next caller. Hello, Evan.
It's Ivan Leo, and hi, Dev Null.
Ha!
The Greek lesson.
Yes. Dev Null. Yes, that's my alter ego on the MSNBC's The Site, going back more than a few years. Yeah, I think Dev Null probably knew the Greek alphabet pretty darn well. He was a virtual character. What can I do for you?
I've got an opportunity for you to spend some of my money.
Oh, let's do it. Love doing that.
I am a digital storyteller, and I, edit a lot of video and audio and, manipulate images and such. And I want a new laptop. And for years, I've always bought Asus, all the time.
So you're a Windows guy. You like Windows for this.
Yeah.
Most storytellers these days gone on over to the Mac side, I think.
Yeah, I have a Mac. I do have a MacBook Pro, but I'm more comfortable with Windows.
Okay. I'm no judgment here. If that's what you want, you should get what you want.
Anyway, so now that Asus has kind of turned more to AMD chips, I don't know. I'm just hesitant about them, probably because of bad memories of their AMD graphics cards years ago and such. But
I honestly think, at least in the desktop realm, AMD might be preferable to Intel. Now, laptops is a little different because laptops are highly constrained by thermals. Processors don't want to get too hot, and you don't have a lot of cooling capability in a laptop. So processors for the laptop either are slower by design or, and this is unfortunately often the case, are technically faster but never get to run at that speed because it would be too hot.
Yeah.
And then there's also the issue because you're running on a battery much of the time. You don't want to use heat means wasted energy. If something is hot, it means that's energy from the battery that didn't go into calculations. It went into wasted heat. So you don't want a hot processor either. This is why Apple, by the way, has a huge lead all of a sudden in laptops because they figured out how to make very fast chips run very, very cool. You're going to have somewhat more of a problem, I think, with AMD in a laptop than you are with Intel. So especially now with the newer Intels. The latest Intel processor, people are very excited about Alder Lake. That's the 12th generation Intel. Although I've heard people call it Scalder Lake because it does run a little bit warm. Might scald your laptop.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think Asus is fine. What software do you use is really the real question.
Adobe.
So you're all Adobe. So Premiere.
Yeah.
Do you use Photoshop?
Photoshop, Audition.
Audition for the audio editing, Lightroom maybe?
After Effects.
After Effects. Oh, yeah, okay. So that makes it easy because the Adobe Creative Suite uses GPUs, uses the discrete graphics. So you definitely want something with discrete graphics. So that narrows it down quite a bit. A lot of the laptops out there, to save money, will use the graphics that are built into the processor.
And that brings up my question, because I think I found the laptop I want, MSI Creator Series.
Very nice.
But here's the choice. I could get the RTX 3060 discrete graphics card with a 4K OLED screen, so weaker graphics with a better screen, or I can get the 3080 with just a full high def screen.
So our colleague, Mike and my colleague, Aunt Pruitt, who does our photo show, is in fact a big fan of those MSI Creator laptops. That's what he uses. We gave him his choice. You can buy anything you want, Aunt. That's what he bought. So I know those work very well. Here's the thing. With a laptop, and I don't know if you do this, do you use a laptop because you want to be able to move around?
Well, yeah, and I also teach.
Okay.
And go to people's homes. And
generally speaking, with a laptop, if you want the best screen, you're going to get an external monitor. So at home, you might have a big OLED monitor that's going to look gorgeous. OLED monitors have a few drawbacks. They're very power hungry, so that kills battery life. Are you always plugged in when you're using your laptop?
Pretty much.
So you don't care about battery life per se. You just want the portability.
Not really. Yeah.
That's good because what you've just described isn't going to have more than a few hours battery life anyway. So I would say don't worry so much about the monitor as long as it's usable, because when you get home, you might plug it into the very high-quality monitor that you use for your day-to-day work. And as you're traveling around, the built-in monitor is going to be fine. I say go for the better graphics card.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. If you're willing to do that, an OLED monitor is spectacular, but it's the problem with a laptop is, well, I just described it. It's going to use a lot of power. So I think you'd be better off getting the LCD monitor on the laptop and the better video card. Now you got the better horsepower. And if you really want a nice, high-quality, accurate monitor, get an external monitor that you use at home, and the rest of the time you can use the other one.
Good idea. And I will look at the Macs again. I just got an invite to see the new M1 Pro and M1 Max chips on the laptop.
Very expensive. We bought for our head content guy who uses all those programs you just described, rather. He's a creative cloud guy. We just bought him the top-of-the-line M1 Max. It hasn't come yet. It won't come till Christmas. Perfect timing. Maybe I'll dress up in a Santa suit to deliver it. But because Adobe has made all of their main stuff M1 compatible, that's going to really be a very impressive thing. And of course, we're waiting for the desktops next year. I think you're going to be fine with the MSI. I don't think you'll feel constrained. And if you prefer to use Windows, fine. But the nice thing about Adobe is those Creative Cloud apps are identical on both platforms. You won't feel at all at sea using it on a Mac. I don't want to express my strong preference.
Well, no, that's one of the reasons why I kind of stuck with Adobe. Was because it is
you'll have that flexibility.
Platforms.
Take a look at the Mac. You're going to get a chance to look at it. I would take a look at it, but I wouldn't hesitate to get the MSI. I think those are very nice, and they'll certainly cost you less. It's nice to talk to you, Evan. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. What? Tell me about your digital storytelling. What do you do?
I just take people's info and craft a story of their existence, whatever they want. Businesses as well as individuals.
And you use video and photographs, or do you use art as well? How do you?
No, I don't use any art unless they provide it.
Right.
But I go out. I'll shoot video. I've done sports compilations.
How
for
cool!
Kids who were trying to compete for scholarships.
Oh wow!
Highlight reels.
Oh, that's neat.
And I do it for small businesses to. Either have talking heads for the head of the company to talk to the people in the company or, their presence online and such.
How'd you come up with this business?
Well, I listened to a guy named Dev Null.
Oh, you're kidding.
A long time ago.
No, really?
No, really. I mean, I started with you a long time ago, and I got more and more interested in it, and I started working in software stores and the old Egghead and CompUSA.
Yeah.
And I was training, and then I went to UCLA to run their labs at the business school, and that's where it kind of took off.
Evan, I'm blown away. That's so cool. Yeah. Do you have a website?
Yeah. No, I really don't. It's all
word of mouth, because people are asking in the chat room. So you got to know somebody who knows Evan.
Yeah,
that's really cool. In other words, you've got enough business. You don't need to sell it.
Well, that's true. I'll leave it at that.
Nice. You're staying busy. That's really good, and you can afford to get a nice new laptop. I every time I see Ant, not every time, but frequently, I'll say, "You still like the MSI? Are you still happy with it?" And he really is. He looked at a lot of different laptops, and he really likes that Creator series. Yeah, to me, they're ugly. They're big and clunky, but people who are used to PCs kind of, I guess, don't mind. They're easier to repair than a Mac, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that's true sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like I said, I float between both platforms, and in fact, you got me started on Linux.
Nice.
Really enjoy that Pop OS.
Isn't that great?
It just made the transition to Linux even better.
They've done such a good job. Yeah, really impressive.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. I really appreciate hearing your story. I'm honored, and I'm glad that it's worked out for you.
Well, and I'm glad you were part of it too.
Yeah.
Guide me along.
Yeah, me and Dev Null.
Exactly.
That annoying little computer-generated jerk.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Soledad O'Brien earlier.
Yeah, well, that's that we were working together on the site, and she would go every day after shooting the show. She would go and sit down, and we were using, back then it was Lotus Notes, and she would answer all her mail, and I was like, wow, Soledad. But you know what? She became a network star, so it worked.
Yeah. It's strange how we get where we are.
Yeah. She was really, that's Soledad in a nutshell. Very committed to her audience. I don't think she did it for personal gain. She really did it because she wanted to respond to people. And that's kind of the story of her life. She's always been very committed to that. Hey, a pleasure talking to you, Evan. I'm glad things are going well for you.
Oh, thank you very much, and have a very nice holiday coming up.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Enjoy the end of the year.
Yeah, we're going to take a week off and do something. Lisa says we're going somewhere.
And
we'll see.
To you as well.
Oh, thank
Isn't
you
he
so
great?
much.
Yeah, Mike is just the best.
He's very quiet.
Well, he knows the day is coming when I'm not going to show up.
Saving my voice.
I'm going to be
for those
late,
moments.
and they're going to say, "You're on." Everybody has to go through that
on the
day.
Dev Null suit.
Yeah, everybody has to go through that. I remember doing that. Oh, you're on, kid.
I'll have to think of what I'm going to call him when I call in.
It's a star is born. That's what it is. Hey, thank you, Evan. Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Our show today brought to you, we'll get back to the Tech Guy podcast in just a little bit. Our show today brought to you by UserWay.org. This is so apropos. We're just talking to the Blind Deaf Potter. Accessibility is so important. And when it comes to a website, it's not only important, it's a legal responsibility. Maybe you didn't know this. Websites are considered public entities by the law, which means that you must, if you have a website, make it accessible to blind users, other users with disabilities. Now, it's not as hard as it might sound because every browser has something called an accessibility layer built into it that if you have the proper code on your website will automatically populate. Things like, for instance, if you've got images on your website, the World Wide Web community accessibility guidelines require that you have something called alt tags, text that describes the picture so that it's not just a big empty blob on the page, but actually describes the picture. It's a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, UserWay actually can populate that with its AI. It can recognize the picture and actually fill in the alt tags. That's not the most important thing UserWay does. UserWay is an amazing company that makes a website accessible with a single line of JavaScript code. Its incredible AI-powered solution enforces the hundreds of WCAG guidelines and frankly makes your website ADA compliant. And that's the law. The Americans with Disabilities Act requires that your website be accessible. But, the alt tags, I mentioned that because everybody kind of probably knows about that and understands it, but there's a lot of other problems on websites. Nav menus that are just, sighted users have enough trouble with those. The 3-line hamburger menu, what do you do with that? So you really got to remediate this. You rewrite the complex nav menus. You've got to make sure that pop-ups are accessible. Forms, this is another big one. Your shopping cart. If you're a site and you sell online, you pop up a shopping cart and a blind user can't use it with their screen reader, you've lost a customer. 61 million Americans with disabilities who absolutely want to access your content but can't. You need to make it accessible. It's not just the right thing to do, it's actually the law. With one line of JavaScript, UserWay can achieve more than an entire team of developers. I know it's overwhelming if you have a website, but UserWay's solution make it simple, easy, and cost-effective. You can go to the website right now, userway.org/twit. They've got a free scanning tool, and you can see if you are ADA compliant. You can see where you're not compliant. You can see how UserWay can help. And by the way, UserWay is used by more than 1 million websites Some of the biggest sites in the world, Coca-Cola, Disney, eBay, FedEx, they ensure ADA compliance with UserWay. And now UserWay is making these very fancy, best-in-class, enterprise-level accessibility tools available to everyone at a very affordable cost. Small and medium-sized businesses, if you need to scale at some point, you need UserWay. It just makes business sense. Just ask the voice of Siri what she thinks.
Hi, I'm Susan Bennett, the original voice of Siri. You won't hear me say something like this too often. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're looking for. But every day, that's what the internet is like for millions of people with disabilities. UserWay fixes all of that with just one line of code.
It's platform agnostic. Whether you're using WordPress or Shopify or Wix, you can easily add UserWay. Same goes for AEM, Sitecore, SharePoint. Just one line, even your own custom-built site. Just add that line of JavaScript. Boom, it loads in what it needs. It runs the AI, remediates all of those problems, fixes the vague link violations and broken links. Yeah, it fixes broken links, which actually is pretty cool. Make sure that your site offers accessible colors while remaining true to your brand. You'll also get with UserWay a detailed report of all the violations fixed on your website. It's just a no-brainer. Affordable, easy, ADA compliant. Make your website accessible. Make your website usable for 60 million Americans with disabilities. With UserWay, everyone who visits your site can browse seamlessly and customize it to fit their needs. What a great way to showcase your brand's commitment to millions of people with disabilities. Go to userway.org/twit. They've got 30% off right now if you go to that site. 30% off UserWay's AI-powered accessibility solution, making the internet accessible for everyone. userway.org/twit. We thank them so much for their support and doing such a great job for a very important community. Thank you, UserWay. userway.org/twit. Now back to the tech guy. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Hour 3 of the Tech Guy Show, 8888. Ask Leo, the phone number if you want to talk high tech. Answer questions. We had somebody, Ed, called in from the UK to answer a question he hadn't even asked yet. We leave you on hold for a long time on this show because so many people want to get through, and often in the time that you spend on hold, you solve your own problem, and I like that too. No, I'm just teasing. 8888 Ask Leo. The website where the answers or the questions go are both techguylabs.com. That's free, open to all. Thank you, James Aruvo and Micah Sargent, both of you putting content up there, links and so forth. So the point is, if you're listening, you don't have to write anything down. You can just go to techguylabs.com at no charge. Lance is next from Tustin, California. Hello, Lance.
Hello. Good to talk to you.
Welcome.
Question for you about smartwatches, and I have what may or may not be a unique situation.
Okay.
So done a fair amount of homework. Clearly, the Apple Watch seems to be the cream of the crop.
It is. If you just kind of take it all and don't have any requirements, yes. But, for instance, if you're a serious runner, Garmin might be a better choice. It depends what your use is. The Fitbit, people love Fitbits. I see a lot of them around. So I'm an Apple Watch wearer, so are you, Micah Sargent. I also have a Samsung, the new Samsung Gear 4. I've worn Fitbits in the past. So I'm not, yes, the Apple Watch is dominant, but not totally dominant. There are other choices that are good too. What do you want a smartwatch for?
So, right now I've got a Fitbit, and it's been fine for me. Really, what I'm looking for is text and phone notices.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an important distinction because people use smartwatches for a variety of reasons. We focus a lot on health, exercise, activity. Heart rate, things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's also like a little extra screen for your phone.
Yeah, and I do like the health stuff as well. Yeah. But I am looking for something that will give me notifications. Now, the situation I'm in is I actually have an Android as a personal phone and an Apple as a work phone.
Yeah, this is the biggest drawback of the Apple Watch. you must have an iPhone. You have to have an iPhone to set it up. They have added a feature now, and it's particularly for kids and seniors, where someone else can set it up for you. But if you want to use it as notifications, it's not going to see your Android phone. Those notifications only will come through the iPhone.
Right. So I actually need to upgrade my personal phone. I'm in a similar situation as the earlier caller. I have a 3XL. The battery's shot on it. It's time to do something. Question is, if I were to go with an Apple, am I going to get notices from both Apple phones to the same watch?
If they're on the same account, yes. You have to have and you can do this. You can have multiple phones on one account that will get Apple's messages. Now, if you have notifications from a program like, let's say, the CNN program, that you're going to get your news notifications from one of the two phones, whichever phone that is paired to. The reason Messages works on both is because Messages is one account everywhere. So on your Mac, on your iPad, on multiple iPhones, all of the messages are the same, and the notifications will be the same. So I guess the real answer is no, the notifications are going to come from one phone, but text messages will come through on all phones.
And what about the calls would as well?
No. Well, if you have different phone numbers for each phone, no.
Unless there's a very particular instance where this could be the case. If you have Wi-Fi calling set up with your carrier, and you have within an iPhone and iPad device, you can set up ring on X device, ring on Y device, and so you could, in that case, have the watch ring. Depending on which phone's going to call.
You may notice, if you have a Mac and other Apple devices, if you set this up, which it's by default, I think it's turned on. It'll ask you the first time you set up a new device. But whenever my phone rings, my iPad rings, my Macintosh rings, everything rings. So you could have it set up so that the second phone will... Can you, though? Can you have it, if it rings on phone A, will it ring phone B? I don't think so.
No, what I think is possible is that if it rings on phone A or phone B, the watch can ring. I don't think that it's phone A can also get the rings from it, because you're using it as that Wi-Fi calling device.
So somebody calls phone A, phone B isn't going to ring. Your watch is going to see a notification from phone A.
Yeah.
Somebody calls phone B, you're not going to see that on your watch, because your watch is attached to one phone number.
Oh, yeah, because the watch doesn't have Wi-Fi call forwarding, does it? No, that's just iPads and Macs.
So the answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing I was thinking about, because I actually...
You could, by the way, you could set up call forwarding. This is how I do it. I have several iPhones, and I just have them call forward to the main phone so that one phone rings, and then your watch will see it.
Right, okay. The other thing I was wondering about was setting up like a macro app on the Android to forward texts and calls to the watch.
Okay, so this is much more complicated. It is doable. In order to have this work, as far as I know, you'll need to have a Mac that you can leave on all the time, running a program called Air Messages. Well, wait a minute. No, I take that back. You're going the other direction. Air Messages will ring your Android, will send your message to the Android. You want messages that come in on Android Messages to show up on your watch. That's a good question. What you'll need is a... This is really complicated. You'll need the standard Android Messages, I don't think will do that. You can have... I do get Android Messages on my iPhone, because you can attach... via a QR code, you can attach a web browser to Android Messages, but I don't think it will notify me on the watch if I get an Android message. There are third-party messenger apps. You can make your default app on your Android phone that may do that, like Pulse.
If you did it through Google Voice and then had the Google Voice.
So you need to find, what you need is an app that you can put on the iPhone that will get messages from your default messenger, whatever, and that has to be the same app on your Android thing, and that app on your iPhone has to do notifications. I'm sure there's a way to do that. I'm not sure which one.
I almost think it wouldn't be worth it in the end, because it sounds like in that scenario, you would basically be choosing to use the work phone as the method for interacting with the Apple Watch. So then you could be crossing the streams there.
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah, you don't
we
cross
know
the
that's
work in a
deadly.
Personal
So,
streams.
in theory, you can. Let me kind of simplify. I realize I made this very complicated. In theory, it is possible to have, I believe, a default messaging app on your Android phone that will mirror itself on the iPhone and then will give you notifications.
Right.
You got to find that app. Google's Android Messenger will not do that, because the way I get my Android messages on my iPhone is as a web app, and of course that I don't think will send notifications off.
Okay. So basically, without going through a lot of hoops, I'm basically going to need to decide on...
This is, by the way, not an accident.
Device.
This is not an accident. This is what Apple wants.
Yeah. I know.
Apple is completely capable of solving this problem, and I want to very strongly lobby them by supporting something called RCS, which is a messaging platform supported now by all the carriers in the U.S., by Google. And I wish to heck Apple would support this in Apple Messages. They don't, because it forces people like you to buy an iPhone, Lance, instead of an Android phone. And I think that's really the only reason. Or they could solve this by making messages available on Android. They're never going to do that. So I'm giving them a lesser option, which is to support RCS, Rich Communication Services.
Maybe a simpler approach. Is there any smartwatch that you can pair with more than one phone? I don't think there is, but
not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I didn't think so either.
They really do seem to be
is the problem that your work phone has to be an Android phone? Is that it, or?
No, the work phone's an Apple.
I see.
I actually prefer the Android. Until I got this work Apple, I've always had Androids.
Sounds like you really desire to have your notifications for both devices appearing on your watch. Is kind of what you're wanting. So you're looking for a way to make sure you don't miss anything.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. Like a beeper would, you know. You know, a lot of people solve this by getting everybody they know to use WhatsApp or some other, if you could convince work to not use SMS messaging, but instead to use a third-party messenger like Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram, then it would work fine. If I have Telegram on my Android and my Apple phone and I can have it notify me through the watch, then it would work fine, as long as everybody used Telegram. The minute somebody sends an SMS, I'm out of luck.
Or you just rock two watches.
You got two wrists. You got two wrists. What's wrong with that?
I guess we could go that route.
You got two wrists and two ankles. You could have 4 watches. Yeah.
There we go.
It is a mess. Your question really gets at something that I think is a larger problem, which is we're still struggling with this alternate. There's no one good way to message everybody. I wish there was. There needs to be.
Right.
So I don't know, but you know what? Keep listening. I'm sure there's somebody else who wants to do what you're doing, and I'm hopeful that somebody's listening and says, "Oh, there is a way, and here's how." So
Apple
maybe
makes it easy to switch between watches if you have multiple watches.
But you have to reset the watch each time, right?
Well, not if you have multiple watches connected to one phone.
You can have more than one Apple Watch connected to a single.
In fact, I do. It's when it's the other way around. Multiple phones for one watch is not possible.
And this is that new feature where they created it that you could set up a watch.
Set up another person's, So then I just tap on it and it switches to that one and I can make adjustments and settings.
Now, the chat room is saying T-Mobile has this digits thing. If you're on T-Mobile, digits might be the solution. This is, but it's requires T-Mobile as a carrier. And I am a T-Mobile. I do have a T-Mobile phone, and so I should really play with this. The idea is kind of one messenger for all. I don't,
all your numbers on one device. Or using your phone number from virtually any device.
Right. And so they have a Windows and a Mac OS version of digits as well as the phone versions. I'll have to try this. I have not tried it. I think you pay extra for it. So I don't know.
Probably.
That's one more thing to look at. Lance, I appreciate the call.
All right.
Sorry, we're not much help, but this is the good thing. We've got the 2 chat rooms. We got Micah's big brain, 2 chat rooms, hundreds of big brains in there, and millions of people listening. Somebody's going to have figured this out, if it is at all.
They probably already have done this.
Solvable.
They're like, I know what I need to do.
I would hope. If you do, call 8888 Ask Leo or leave a comment on the website, techguylabs.com. No, I wasn't aware of that, Maverick. Did you know there's a Tesla smartphone?
No.
There's going to be the Tesla Model Pi?
Epsilon.
I wouldn't be surprised. Omicron. Epsilon. So let me go to my T-Mobile account. Maybe I should sign up and see if I can do this. I should try this Digits. They've had this out for a while, and I've kept meaning to try it. So what I do is I text on my device by pairing my phone. On your phone, open Messages by Google. Okay. Tap ... Sign into Google Fi. Okay. Oh, you can skip the QR code. Oh.
Well, fancy.
That's new. That's different. What happened?
Mr.
I wanted to do the QR code. They don't do it anymore? Oh, they don't do it anymore. Now, I just sign into Fi because I'm a Fi user.
That must be why, because I've done this.
Yeah.
To use the QR
Even
code.
I have. But now as a Fi user, I guess they want me to do it this way. Messages.google.com/wham. So painful. /web. Okay, now sign into Fi. Video calling now available. What? Okay. So just do that. Oh, I guess they want me to do this Fi now. So I had it all set up. Now I got to do it different. Okay, add to home screen. Messages, add. That's probably better. Oh, it's got a new icon too. Put that down here. That's probably why they did it, so I can have the Ficon. Now my messages are on my iPhone. No, it still wants me to... Google. I on a Google. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. So you've heard about Apple working on an AR headset of some kind, right? Rumor mill now, Ming-Chi Kuo, who is a very well-known Apple rumor guy. He's actually an analyst who works out of Asia, and he's really well connected with the manufacturers. Mm-hmm. So his advantage in terms of rumors is he can talk to people who are actually building these devices, and they're not as tightly controlled as people on the Apple campus. So Ming-Chi Kuo says Apple will be launching a augmented reality headset late next year, 1 year from now. It will not be tethered either to a Mac or an iPhone. It will have one of Apple's hot new processors, the M50, inside it. And their plan is to replace the iPhone. With these glasses in the next 10 years. Not right away. In the next 10 years.
This is how I see the future anyway. I think that the future is a pair of glasses or whatever that you put on.
Well, but I think that's not whatever, because I think this is an important point. You don't want to walk around with the equivalent of these Oculus Quest visors on. You'd look like a doofus. It's got to look like regular glasses, right?
Some sort of frames.
Maybe it can look a little fancier. I think not, though. I think it should be that people don't know you're wearing them. Like you could just be wearing spectacles.
Yeah.
Which is hard because there's not a lot of room for battery in that.
And see, this is the thing, is it's like we talk about, it gets hard to talk about a first world problem, but it gets harder every year to get excited about these phones.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Because they are, for the most part, all the same.
Just a slab of glass.
Slab of glass and some metal. And so what do we do to go from there? Putting on a pair of spectacles that then make anything in your world a screen. Anything can be a screen.
Well, we already spend most of our lives staring at our phones, even as we're crossing the street, walking around. Just to go to any city and watch. And I remember the first time I noticed this, I was in Paris. They did it before we did. And I was sitting outside of Notre Dame, a lot of tourists walking around, and all the French folk are walking around staring at their phone. And I thought, this is very strange, very weird. This was maybe 15 years ago, long before it became the thing here.
Wow.
But it was a forewarning of what we're seeing now, which is kids, young people. Go to a restaurant. Any family that's dining, 3/4 of the family is sitting and looking at the phone.
I saw a young person with headphones on and was in the iPad while the rest of the parents were eating. And there are lots of things. There could have been sensory issues, all sorts of reasons why. But I just found it interesting compared to whenever we were younger, how that would not have been the case. And there's actually a thing now called tech neck that people are starting to develop because of the way
they're looking down.
Our heads were not meant to be sort of. It puts a lot of strain on that part of the neck. And there are actually scientists have been noticing that slowly but surely there is maybe something developing in the spine that has to do with
could be an evolutionary advance.
Yeah,
you'll have a little folding neck. So I can see that we may not have to worry about that because
we'll get our necks back
what if you wore glasses that gave you the same display? And then there's an advantage. People don't know, first of all, you're staring at your phone. Plus, you're not going to walk into traffic.
Yes.
And the idea about these are augmented reality. So you still see what's going on, but it's kind of like a heads-up display. Displayed on your vision of the real world is additional information. One hopes not obscuring your vision of the real world, so you can still interact with people and talk to them. But imagine you walk up to somebody in the street, you don't know them. You think you don't know them, but the computer says, no, that's Micah Sargent.
Yeah.
He's got 2 children named Joey and Annie. Annie's birthday is next week.
Yes.
So you walk up, you're seeing this on the screen. You're not. I'm seeing it. You're not. I walk up and say, Mike, how you doing? Hey, please tell Annie happy birthday. And maybe even before you get up to Micah, you say, hey, Shlomo. Because that's, by the way, the name of the Apple Assistant next year is Shlomo. Hey, Shlomo, send Annie a birthday gift right away.
Yes.
And just look in the mail, Micah, because Annie's going to get something from me because I knew it was her birthday ahead of time. See, I think I like that. Yeah. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, more of your calls coming. That's going to be interesting.
I really am excited about it. I really am. I can remember watching those. It was Microsoft that did it, where they said the home of the future.
Yeah, they're always doing that stuff. Microsoft's crazy.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
So Quo says 2 processors. A higher-end processor will be like the M1 and the Mac. Lower end will be in charge of sensor-related computing. Power management, similar. There'll be a power management unit. It'll have 2 micro OLED displays from Sony.
That's guess for the VR part.
They already know, right? Which will require the computing horsepower of an M1-like chip. If they're going to do displays, then that must mean there's a camera, and the display will include the camera view of what's going on.
Well, it looks like it's sort of a pair. You can make the AR headset into a VR headset. In addition to AR, Quo says the headset will also be able to support virtual reality thanks to a pair of displays. So I wonder if you've got 2 sort of modes.
Oh, yeah. The AR headset requires at least 6 to 8 optical modules to simultaneously provide continuous video see-through AR services to users. But if it's got optical modules, it sounds like those are cameras.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you've played with the Oculus Quest 2.
You can see an outline of what's going on. You can see the outside world.
Upon that so much. Yeah. So I could see this where the cameras are actually color instead of that sort of
But somebody made a good
look.
point, which is people are going to be irate if they see you wearing this, just as they were with Google Glass, because they know you've got a camera on your face.
I think some people might be irate.
Well, even one person's enough.
I just think about how you go through an apartment complex or something like that. Everybody's got a doorbell camera on the front of their house.
You can't. There's no privacy
anymore. There's no escape.
Anymore.
And also, constitutionally, we don't have privacy in public places. Except in very particular
The rumor
instances.
used to be that there's going to be 2 things: a VR headset first, and then a spectacles like. And this sounds like this is the first one. In fact, it was supposed to come out next year, and it sounds like late next year. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, those are rumors. It's just rumors.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I have been reporting on a lot of companies making AR headsets. Qualcomm has some AR goggles. They've mostly been selling them to corporate kind of clients and for business. But many more companies are starting to make these, so you can start to see people going and getting a pair from whichever company they want to that gives them access to this AR, VR world that we are, building slowly but surely.
Have you noticed how many ads for crypto all of a sudden everywhere?
I really feel like I'm not paying enough attention or something because I have seen that. Is what I'm saying. I feel
so
very
like the
left
chess World Championship tournament. All the sponsors are crypto.
Really?
Tons of crypto on the football games now. Crypto.com, Staples Arena, crypto.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a lot of money flooding in from speculators who've made a lot of money on Bitcoin, and all of a sudden they're starting businesses and spending money on advertising. I'm not convinced this is a good thing.
I'm scared because I think about the people now. You've got a lot of companies who are creating the company and then they make their own coin, and then you become an investor by buying the coin.
Exactly. I think that there's people in your generation are going to get scammed.
Yeah, it feels very fraudulent.
It makes me nervous,
especially because it's everybody's kind of always looking for the sort of get rich quick scheme, and so I'm trying to think in years past what that was. This feels so much easier because if my younger brother wanted to hop on his phone right now and download the right app, he could buy these coins. You know what
Abby,
I mean?
who's your age, keeps telling me, "Oh, my Shiba Inu is going up and my Doge is doing good." It's like, Abby, that's not investing. That's not
real.
DJ Jazzy Big Pee Wee at the controls. Our musical director, Big Pee Wee, Damien in charge, sitting in for Professor Laura. Thank you for being here, Damien. We appreciate it, and thanks for the tunes. Angela's next from, is it Dartmouth, Nova Scotia? Am I saying that right? Dartmouth, just like Dartmouth, like the regular Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just Dartmouth, yeah.
Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Well, I said it kind of fast. I speak kind of fast sometimes, so I probably threw Kim off.
Angela, I know Dartmouth. Go ahead. What can I do for you?
No, I thought something. I thought you might get a bit of a chuckle out of a few episodes ago. I called you and asked you if you knew an alternative to iToner.
Yes.
To
make your ringtones, right?
Yeah, just to put simple ringtones.
Yeah.
An app onto the phone. Well, all it was I just was tired of trying to find something. So one day I just you download the once you go onto the app, the ringtone you want, it goes into the little file section. So you put it onto the computer and you just drag and drop it back. It's a drag and drop sort of thing.
Are you an iPhone or Android user?
iPhone.
Yeah. You don't need anything special. It's just an M4R file. You can.
I was looking for something hard.
I know but you know what? This is actually, give credit to Apple because I ding them for other things. They made it easy. It used to be in fact, remember there was this brisk market, like $1.50 for ringtones. There was a market in ringtones. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And there were third-party apps to make these and so forth. But Apple just said, it could be anything. Any file you've got, any musical file you've got on your phone, you could just make it an M4R. GarageBand will do it, and you just drag it onto your phone. So I'm good. Hallelujah.
I just thought you'd get a hoot out of it. I was trying to make something difficult that was so simple.
Oh, you're not. This is normal. This is called being a computer user.
Yes. We all have those moments.
Angela, pleasure talking to you. Thank you for calling. Stay warm. I bet it's getting cold in Dartmouth.
It's starting to. It snowed here a couple days ago, but at least it only hung around for a few days. So hopefully it'll be that way all winter. Being in a wheelchair, I could definitely handle having not much snow.
Put some blankets on and one of those big woolly fisherman sweaters. You're golden. Thanks, Ange.
Put studs on my tie on my wheelchair.
Oh yeah, you got to have I hope you've winterized your wheelchair. Absolutely. Got to get the snow tires.
For sure.
All right, Angela. Great to talk to you.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Nice to know. See, this has been a day where people call and say, hey, I fixed it.
Lots of solutions.
It worked. Richard's on the line from West L.A. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Leo. Good to talk with you again.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling. What can I do for you?
I get, as everybody else, gets these little instruction booklets with various gizmos, and the type is very small, as you know. Is there any way I can print those things but enlarge the type?
Yeah. When they're digital, it's not so bad because you can pinch to zoom it out and make it big, but then you print it out and it's 9-point type, and who can read that? Yeah, there are a couple of ways to do that. In your print setup, you can actually make a document bigger. There's a scale setting. So if you want to have a document print out at double the size, for instance, you can scale it to 200%. Often programs, are you on a PC, a Mac? How are you printing?
I'm printing on a PC through a fax printer machine.
Yeah, so it's not unusual for the computer program to kind of hide the full printer setup dialog because they want to make it simple. You just press print and go. Most of the time, people just, I want the default settings. So in order to get to those scale settings, you might have to look for a link that says print setup or go to the full printer dialog. Just depends on the program. But you want to get the full printer capabilities in there, and you'll see, and there's a lot of things. You want two-sided, you want to have it high quality, low quality. There's all sorts of extra settings, and one of those settings will be a scale setting, and so you could set it to 200%. It'll still honor the size of the paper. It's not going to print off the side of the paper or anything like that. It might screw up the layout, however. You know, it'll be a little bit odd because you're making the text so big, but you can make it as big as you want and use up as much paper if you want.
Yeah, I went to that area. I guess I didn't do it thoroughly enough because I was looking for that very thing, but I'll have to look for the...
It like I said, they hide it because they figure, and people don't want to mess with all that stuff. So you're going to have to dig around to find it. But once you see that scale, then you're in the right place.
One other thing, Leo, please.
Yes.
I think it was last week I called you about increasing the... I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it. I'll call you at another time.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richard. All right. I appreciate it. A momentary lapse, a senior moment, as I call them. They happen more and more these days. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number if you have a question, a comment, or a suggestion. Warren's next from let's see, Oceanside, California, and I hear the breeze from the ocean blowing. Hi, Warren.
I'm pulling off now. I'm driving on the freeway.
Okay. Yeah, don't get in an accident. It's the worst thing for radio when a caller gets in an accident. It just sounds bad.
I'm watching the stop and go traffic go by me very briskly.
Yes.
My question is, I have an Acer Chromebook, had it for about a year or so, and I love it. But recently, Norton has invaded me with a little pop-up on the lower right-hand side that says, hey, you buy me and you can eliminate this pop-up. The pop-up normally would say, hey, there's something interesting on YouTube or the weather. You know, it's
a notification, and Windows allows notifications down there in the corner. But you're getting a notification that's an ad. Oh, Chromebook. Okay. Oh, that's different. It's a Chromebook notification.
Chromebook, yes.
You shouldn't be seeing that. So at some point, you've allowed a website to pop up notifications. You can, in Chrome, go into your settings. This is, by the way, a little confusing on a Chromebook because there's the Chromebook settings, but there's also the browser settings. But the same way you'd go in the browser settings, that three-line, what they call it, a hamburger menu in the right there, you're going to go into the settings for Chrome, and it's a little bit difficult. You have to dig down into the content settings for a website. And I don't have it in front of me, so I can't tell you exactly the terminology. But it's in the content.
Okay. I'm having difficulty. I searched some of it, and I go through the browser settings, and I can't really find it. The Chromebook settings is a bit difficult.
Well, it's in the browser, though, I believe. Okay, so that's actually an interesting question on a Chromebook.
There are a couple of places it looks like.
Yeah.
So we'll include a link, of course, at techguylabs.com. There's a way to manage your notifications on a Chromebook via the settings menu. But yes, if you're using the browser, that could also be setting up giving that app permission to be able to show you that notification. So you do want to turn it off in both places.
I see why. Because there's website notifications, and those will be in in the browser, but you can also install on a Chromebook. They call them apps. They're basically browser extensions, and they can also have notifications. So and I suspect in the case of Norton, gosh, I don't know where it's coming from, but I would look in the apps and turn off those notifications.
Exactly. Yeah. It's sort of tunneled its way in there to try to give you notifications as much as possible. But this Android Central article that we'll link to actually has some great screenshots that have arrows pointing at everything, so it's very easy to see where you need to go.
And this one, that looks like on apps, you have to go app by app, which is very annoying. I would find what app is giving you those Norton notifications and remove it, because that sounds like some sort of ad-based app. One of the first things I do when I install a new browser on any platform is I dig into the settings, go into the content settings. There is a place where it says notifications, and you can actually disable globally, because every website's going to say, you want me to give you notifications? I don't want any notifications from any website. So I go in there and I disable it globally. I turn that off for all. I said, don't even allow them to ask. Just don't ask at all. And that way I don't get notifications. The only time I think you want notifications is from your calendars, your alarms, that kind of thing. Maybe news, maybe. I think it's just distracting. So I turn them off. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, this is the good one. Is Chrome://settings. This will turn it off globally, I think. Don't allow sites to send pop-ups or use redirects. Thank you, Frank. It's Chrome://settings/content/pop-ups. But if you go into Chrome settings, Chrome://settings, and search for pop-ups, that's the fast way to get there. And just disable that. You don't want anything like that, ever, in my opinion. I guess if you do want them, okay, you can go
case by case.
But boy, I don't want any notifications. Hey, it's time for Disco Dickie D. Burn, baby, burn. It's a disco inferno with Mad's maddest writer and the Gizwiz, Dick Debartolo. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how you doing, pal?
I am doing well. Do you have a Disco Inferno in your fireplace to keep you warm on this?
I do. I actually do. I'm burning old 45s. It's a real Disco Inferno.
Actually, yeah, you could do that. Didn't Gary Dahl do that in Chicago? The DJ he had.
Oh yes.
At a White Sox game or a Cubs? It was a Cubs game. He had people bring their disco records to burn.
Oh my God, it was heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. Oh, the humanity. So Dick joins us every week to share a great gizmo or gadget with us. That's why he's the Gizmo Wizard. What do you got for us this week?
Well, you know, Leo, I did my first home COVID-19 test.
Really?
Now,
that's nice because you don't have to stick it all the way up your nostril because it's only you.
That's correct. But surprisingly, I actually did a little video of taking the test, and I must confess my nostrils are much cleaner than I ever expected.
Wait a minute, you didn't shoot a picture going up your nose, did you?
Well, from a little bit above.
Oh,
okay?
All right. Okay.
But the swab comes out clean as a whistle.
Now these are the antigen rapid tests, right?
That is correct. And the one I have is from iHealth. And the funny thing is, I was trying to get it online, and my order would never go through, I think because they were overloaded. And the next morning was a Showstoppers virtual showcase. And they were there, and I said to the woman,
"Give me 100."
She said, "No, we'll send you 2."
Okay,
which they did.
Now, how much are they in the stores?
You know, here at CVS, they're $30.
That's not too bad.
Okay,
That's not too
but
bad.
on Amazon, the iHealth is $18.
Oh, much better. Okay.
Yeah.
And are they in stock? Can you get them? Because I know it's been hard to get these.
Yeah. I actually just went on Amazon now, and they're $18.98, and I don't know how long it's going to be up there because it wasn't there yesterday. It's there's a 20% off coupon.
Oh.
So
I should order a few of these. Now,
real quick.
You have to check to see who will take them because these are the rapid antigen tests.
Yes.
Some countries, some states, some airlines may or may not accept them. So you got to find out. You might, for instance, if you want to go to Canada, you need the more accurate PCR
absolutely.
tests, but they take longer.
Absolutely. The PR lady was saying it's more for your own information. They do have an app where it looks like a teacher can supervise students taking it, I guess, at home and maybe hold the results.
Yeah, a lot of schools are using these,
Yeah, exactly.
Rapid testing is not as accurate, but it's better than nothing. And if you do mass rapid testing, you're going to have a much better control of what's going on, of the spread. So
and they recommend doing it twice. You take the test, you wait 24 hours, you take the test again, and when you put the swab and do all that, the results, you should make the result happen within 30 minutes.
30 minutes,
and Yeah.
I think that's nice. By the way, I like the Alfred E. Newman enamel pin you have on your flannel shirt there. That's that's good. All right, good to know. We can finally get these, and it's good to have. And I'm not going to focus on you swabbing your nose.
No, that's
quite a few we're getting there on the. But if you want to see it, if you're enjoying it, you can go to gizwiz.biz. He's got a link there.
If you have a nose thing,
if you're into nose swabs,
there's plenty of nose. It's uncovered. It's naked. Naked nose at my website.
We got. I think when we were coming back in the U.S., we had to have tests, and the physician who did that, it goes almost to your brain. It goes pretty deep there.
Wait a minute.
My eyes were watering, I have to say, but these you don't have to quite go so far, right?
No, not at all. Okay. Not at all.
Yeah.
Actually, here there's no brain to go to, so I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a funny thing with Dick. It just went whoop right through his head. Yeah, came out the other ear. Yeah. Gizwiz.biz is his website. GIZWIZ.biz. There's lots of good stuff there. If you click the Gizwiz Visits the Tech Guy, you'll see a link to all the stuff he's mentioned on his show. You can also click the What the Heck Is It button for a chance to play the What the Heck Is It contest. This time it's pretty easy. You have to the end of the year. What are we playing for, Dick?
We're playing for the January 2022 issue. I should have copies by next week.
I got to add to my collection because I got a pretty good collection here.
I'll send one for Micah too this time.
Thanks.
And Dick autographs them, which makes it actually extra special. It's really a lot of fun. There are 6 autographed Mad magazines for the right answer. Those are going to go pretty quick.
Yes.
And there are 12 for the best, cleverest, wrong answer. And, of course, if you get more than 12 or more than 6, you're going to have a drawing. But all the details are at the website, gizwiz.biz. Also links to gadgets he mentions on World News Now. I know you appear monthly on ABC's World News Now. And, of course, your great podcast, gizwiz.tv with Chaz Johnson, every week. And there's Mad, it's probably I'm starting to look at for holiday gifts. Hanukkah's tomorrow. I think maybe this is a time to go to gizwiz.biz and pick up some Mad memorabilia, some Match Game memorabilia, because Dick was the guy who saved the Match Game with his wicked sense of humor, and Mad garb, stuff like that. Gizwiz garb, edge. Gizwiz.biz. Dickie D, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Quiet, but very good. And you?
Very nice. We had about 10 people, had a ham, and it was really fun. We had a lot of fun. And is the snow coming to Disneyland?
No, there may be some flakes on tomorrow, actually. All right. But it's too cold for me.
Yeah. Myra, I know, is sitting in there. She said everybody at her Thanksgiving dinner had to take the rapid test before they came to dinner, which I thought was a clever idea.
Yeah. That is a good idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Thank you, Dickie D.
Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you next week.
Have a wonderful week. Gizwiz.
You too, buddy.
.biz. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. We're going to wrap it up for the week. I noticed, I was looking at the tech news. This is interesting. We've talked before about the supply chain shortage and the lack of hardware. Chip makers responding to that are going to double the amount of money they spent this year on fabs, on building chips. So while we have said, and I think it's the case, it's going to be until next year before the chip shortage, kind of ends. You know what that really means? in a couple of years,
we'll have a chip tollage.
We're gonna have a tollage, a glut, and that means prices should tumble. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. Hey, I want to thank you, Micah, for helping me out. Micah Sargent hosts our iOS Today show at twit.tv/iOS. It's a great show, highly recommended if you're an iPad or iPhone user. He's also on our Tech News Weekly program every week, twit.tv/TNW, to catch up on the week's tech news. Thank you to Big Pee-wee filling in for Professor Laura. Thank you, Pee-wee. Thank you to Kim Schaffer, our phone angel, for answering your calls. But mostly I want to thank you for being here. Couldn't do it without you. And I hope you'll come back. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a safe Geek Week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.